Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in with us tonight, man. We got ourselves a great guest. You know, he's no stranger to Flight Sports TV. You know, definitely a lovely guest. Every time we get him on the panel, you know what time it is. We are talking Charlotte Hornets basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Dracula, what's the deal? We live on Flight Sports.
Are you sure you want to talk Hornets basketball?
Hey, unfortunately, that's what we have to do. You know,
Same.
Last night. That's how I felt last night, because I was excited. Like, I ordered pizza. You know, it was one of those nights. I mean, I ordered the wings, the breadsticks. You know how you get it all. I'm thinking mellow ja, and it was a doozy. You know, I did want the Hornets to do that thing, and like I said, right away, you know, I noticed that it's not gonna go in my favor. You know, this is definitely an unfortunate season. You know. It's crazy. What's going on with your Charlotte Hornets? Keyword, your Charlotte Hornets.
I gotta claim them. Okay, fair. I will say, I've ended 2 live streams early this year, and they were both Grizzlies games. The first one, the last one. The first one was a 30-point deficit going into the third quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, and then last night's was a 29-point deficit going into the fourth quarter. So I have an unofficial, like a Grizzlies rule, that if the Hornets are down by that much going into the fourth quarter, I'm just going to turn the stream off and go walk my dog, do something positive with the rest of my evening, because this Hornets team is bad. It's really bad. You want to point at injuries, that's fair. That's totally valid. But going into the year, I thought if this team remained healthy, they were a 10 seed at best. And they're the worst team in the league record-wise as of now. You know, they're like toe-to-toe with the Rockets, which you don't want to be. But bigger picture, lottery, draft odds, Wembanyama, it could be all for something. But for now, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would have never envisioned this in a million years. You know, I knew that they was gonna be in for an uphill battle, but Lord have mercy, I would have never thought, you know, bottom of the pulpit. That's what this is, Sam. This ain't bad. This ain't just, you know, this is bottom of the pulpit right here, man. Mm-hmm. You know, yes,
they can't. You know, the team last few years, the Hornets team we've been watching. You're like, okay, the offense is going to be there. You can kind of rely on that. And just the hope was if the defense could just be average, you don't have to be like top 10 or just middle of the road. Can't even do that. And the offense just fell off. And so we have these awful half-court possessions or offensive possessions. This lead to more scoring opportunities for the team, and the Hornets can't stop anybody. And so it's a brutal season. Again. Wembanyama, or Scoot. I don't care, man. I just want a top 5 pick. That's all.
I hope so. Because before we continue, shout out Basil Carpenter Jr. with your $10 super chat. I want to appreciate you. You already know what's going on. Shout out everybody. Slim Basil says, Sam Dracula, salute. You already know. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. So, like I said, this is horrifying. You know, Steve Clifford, you know, took over, and I'm not gonna trip on Steve. I don't think it's his fault. You know, no coach in the world is fixing this. No, that's what I'm saying. This is crazy. This is like I think this is you got to go upstairs. We got to start. I like I said, I know that you got a lot of things going on. Shout out to everybody with Sam, the Believe in Hornets podcast with NBA legend Raymond Felton. But you got to start. See, I'm starting to look upstairs. With the Charlotte Hornets. That's where I'm at with this. I'm looking upstairs, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Mitch Kupchak, did you fall asleep at the wheel? Michael Jordan, what the hell are you doing? Are you gambling? What's going on? Did you forget that you was the owner? That's why I'm looking upstairs. And I need answers, man. What's going on, man? Because this beyond, like you said, this beyond coaches. So what's going on? Who do we look at?
So it's weird. So there's a few things. First things first, I want to say is that the Hornets team's been just decimated by injuries, and they still have an open roster spot. We all know who allegedly may get that spot, right? But they went going through all these injuries and still have a shortened roster. That's weird to me. That's weird. I don't think they entered the season trying to tank, but that's something that raises my eyebrow. But this roster was a winning roster last year, like definitively. I know the play-in ended horribly, and the offseason just continued the horribleness across all fronts. And so now you're left with this squad where you're like, okay, got Mark Williams, that's cool. Jalen Duren out here with Detroit, Walker Kessler in Utah. These guys are getting in. Undrafted rookies not so much now. Mark Williams has played enough, but like Orlando Robinson's playing before Mark Williams is playing. Like there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And I think to your point, it does start with Kupchak and MJ because they have too many kids on this team. And it's not like a talent issue. It's just like you can't develop these many guys. 2 first-round draft picks last year, including JT Thor, who was part of the rotation. He looks like he's so look. I think he regressed from last year to this year. Like all these guys, they're trying to bring along at the same time. They're all about the same, and none of them are moving the needle. So they're just left with this like overstock of just mid rookies or second year players that you can't do anything with them. All Clifford can do is give 2 of them some run at a time. Like we had Richards. Well, Richards been fine. He's in the 3rd year. But who was it? It was Thor and Bouknight early. They got their opportunity. Then they got rotated out for Kai Jones and Bryce McGowan's.
You brought up Bouknight. I started to get nauseous. I'm sorry. We got to get that.
Yeah. He's doing something. He's doing something. Not really. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And yeah, I look at the roster, like there's too many of the same caliber of guy. And if you're Clifford, like who you look on your bench? You have like 5 dudes who have collectively played 30 games, probably 30, 40 games in their careers. Like how you're meant to get in these games when your starters are hurt and your bench is super inexperienced and maybe not good. We don't know what these guys are yet. And so that's my thing without this whole season. Like I need the only way they can salvage this year is when the season's over, everyone has a clear picture of who is a keeper of this group of these young, unproven guys, who's worth carrying on and who isn't. Just run them out, play them, see what they're good at. What are their strengths? Like, is Bouknight an NBA player? At this point, I don't think he is. Kai Jones? I don't know. We haven't seen enough. Like we got to figure that stuff out. And I hope Mitch Kupchak in the front office like focuses on that, sends the veterans out of town for their sake. Get Kelly Oubre out this team. He's too good for this Hornets team. Mason Plumlee doesn't deserve this. You know what I mean? Like get these guys out, get more play time for the boys. And so we can see what we have going into next year, who's worth building around or who's like a proper part of the rotation. But yeah, it's brutal, man.
Yeah, man, it's downright nasty. Like I said, you brought up Mr. James Bouknight. I don't know if you know, but I went down to Charlotte. I don't know if you seen my. Did you see that?
I haven't. No.
Oh yeah, when you get an opportunity, scroll through. I went down, to the Spectrum Center. I happened to be in Charlotte, not too long ago. I went on I put an APB out, live from the Spectrum Center. for Mr. James Bouknight. I think I might need to head on back down the Charlotte. I ain't too far away, and put another APB out, because after I did that, he started to pick it up, and then we kind of cooled down, and then he started to go back to the bench. It's like he lives on the bench. You know that this man has been he's with G3 right now out in Greensboro. They sent him out. First they sent him with a package of people. Now, they sent him now with just him by himself. That's who was sent this time. So I mean, this is kind of crazy in my humble opinion. What is your thoughts on Mr. James Bouknight? Going through this hell. Obviously he's in Greensboro. What's your thoughts initially with the whole G League situation with Bouknight? Because out of all the people, I would have thought, never in a million years, I thought this was a breakout. Yeah, I heard the press conference. We not just Melo fans here. We rocking with the Hornets too, because you got Melo. So I wanted the best for Bouknight. Bouknight said in the press conference to start the season that he was meeting with Steve Clifford. Things was going to change after the situation with Borrego. Because everybody faulted Borrego for the Bouknight situation, and Bouknight said that this season he is a better understanding of what's expected of me, and things of that nature. So I thought everybody and he said that he was with Clifford all summer long, So I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Do you know what I'm talking about in terms of? I thought he had a relationship with Clifford. It seemed like, what happened? Did he get double crossed?
Well, I don't think he got double crossed. I think he wasn't playing enough defense. Like, he got a lot of run. He got a lot of run to start the year off, like getting some serious minutes for the first 17 games of the year. And then imagine Terry's hurt, LaMelo's hurt, Dennis Smith Jr.'s hurt, and Bouknight's name isn't called. Like that says something about what he's doing. And I don't think there's any malice behind it. I think Clifford is trying to put the best players out there, right? But I'm concerned. I have concerns about Bouknight, man. Like, he shows flashes. He looks like he could be a competent scorer in the league. I just don't see it, like how he can become an NBA player at this rate. He's going back to the G League. He's supposed to have been graduated from that, and now he's back where he was last year. It's 2023 now. I don't view him. And second year in the league, he has 2 more years on his rookie deal. It all can change in an instant. Like, I'm not trying to push him out of town. At this point, I don't look at him as a guy worth like building around or seeing as him being part of the rotation or even on this team in 3 years, if that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Sam. Bouknight, I think his career is in crisis. Here, man. Like I said, we ain't gonna hold no punches. I'm just gonna tell it how it is. We believe that there's a lot of partying going on in Charlotte. We got a lot of young guys, like you just said. I want to pose the question to you. Like I said, I don't live in Charlotte. But like I said, I've been through the city, and it could get percolating. We seen, I'm not gonna get all into the Bouknight issues, but he did have some transgressions this summer, which leads me to believe that there's a lot of play, going on down there in Charlotte. Do you think that these guys are involved in too much partying going on out there? Because it seemed like it's just one big party going on in Charlotte.
I mean, partying, I don't know. Like, poor decision making, yeah. Like, you can party and still make good decisions. And Bouknight, clearly with his alleged speeding record, like just the amount of reckless driving cases he has open, and then we couldn't even get through the offseason. Like, the last day of the offseason, a picture comes out of a passed out Bouknight in a parking garage. Like, couldn't even finish the offseason without a bad news story coming out. And then he plays the next day against San Antonio, which is wild. I can't believe they played him. But he played 14 minutes in that game. Like, fair play. Went 0 for 5. Great. Congratulations. It's weird, bro. And I don't get it. All I can do is look at what's in front of us, right? He threw his pants at James Borrego, got kicked out of UConn game, missed summer league because of a pinky injury, gets in all this legal gets in legal trouble. And then you hear the things you mentioned,
like horse shit.
Yeah. you hear the little nuggets of like, okay, him and Clifford are working together. You know, like you see it, like, you know, but then it's he's back in Greensboro, man, and you can't break. You can't get into the guard rotation, which is saying something considering all the injuries the Hornets have had.
That's sad. You know, it's definitely sad. And I like I said, I believe that this is definitely, you know, causing a lot of issues for LaMelo Ball, you know, because I think even though Melo doing his thing, you know, obviously going into this year, we knew they would be shorthanded. Mind you, they had injuries all over the board, including LaMelo. You know, I think Bouknight really dropped the ball. You know, he really dropped. He fumbled the bag this year. And like I said, I think his career is waving in the balance, you know, because it's like, what's going on with you? You know, I think he was really needed. He really let his team down. Not only did he play like trash, I believe that he let the Charlotte Hornets down, you know, because I think his services was needed. There's a glaring opportunity, you know. I don't know why Bouknight hasn't put himself in a position to firmly take advantage of that opportunity. It seemed like he's pissed it away.
And I mean, there's a reason he dropped, you know, like early mocks had him going like top 10. He went 11. You know, at the time I liked it. I was like, oh my God, this dude slipped. You thought, okay. He was mean mugging on draft night, thinking he should have gone higher. I'm like, oh my God, we got a dog to match up with Terry Rozier. Like we have like a set here going on, the heir apparent to Rozier, you know, and it doesn't. You look at how Terry competes. I know he has his flaws on defense, and then we look how Bouknight competes. It's not the same. They're not the same, and I don't see it. But again, it's a second year. It's January. Like it can change. I just don't see it at this point. I don't see it in him.
Sure. Listen, right now, I definitely need to join up my man Dex. Listen, we joined by my man All Access Dex. Talk to the people. We live with my man Sam Dracula. You already know Flight Sports TV legend. What's the deal?
Yes, sir, brother Sam. How you feeling? I just wanted to ask him, how do he feel about the flip of the Charlotte Hornets expectation coming in from the previous 2 seasons into this season?
So my expectation, like when the season ended versus how this season started, like how last season ended compared to what I thought was going to happen this year is completely different. And that's mainly because of Miles Bridges, right? I didn't expect all these injuries, but I expected Hayward to get hurt. But like I when the season started, I thought this team was a 10 seed at best. But definitely not the worst team in the league, which they are right now. Having the first winning record since like 2016 last year, like that was great. A lot of positive stuff going on there. That's it, man. That was the end of it. They've gone too far. Now they gotta run it back and just fix it. They gotta get some of these boys out of here. Get some of the veterans out of here. Just fix it. Just do the work. Spend the time.
You said some of these boys. Can we get some names?
Yeah. So like, okay. Yeah. So James Bouknight, first off. But again, I just want to go back to say that they need to spend this year to figure out which boys are worth keeping and which ones aren't. Like I have my suspicions, but we got a lot of season left, right? So players, you got this year's rookies, Mark Williams, Bryce McGowens, right? They're fine. They just got here, no beef. Kai Jones, I don't know if Kai Jones is an NBA player. I don't know. I like watching him play. He's a lot of fun to watch. I don't know if he's an NBA player yet. I don't know. Bouknight, same thing. JT Thor looked better his rookie year than this year, but again, he has a frame, he has the size. Does he have the skills? I don't know, but that may come in time. I think he's a maybe for me as well, right? You got Nick Richards, who was in his second year, or excuse me, in his third year, who he emerged, he improved, but he's worth building around? Probably not, right? He's not untouchable if they want to trade somebody. I think he's very tradable and actually a good thing. And that's a compliment. Guys like PJ, Jalen McDaniels, Cody Martin, they just paid. I don't know if they can move him or not, but like they have all these players that are about the same experience levels. Some are better than others. Jalen McDaniels, PJ Washington on the higher end, right? And then the lower end, the Bouknights and Kai Jones. When the season's up, I would like a clear picture on who these guys are. We got the trade deadline next month. It's a bit soon. I think, to pull the trigger on some of these. But do they want to pay Jalen McDaniels? Do they want to pay PJ Washington? PJ's a restricted free agent. Jalen's an unrestricted free agent. I think I'd rather keep Jalen over PJ. But I don't know who has better trade value. Maybe trade one or both of them now, get a pick, and retool that way. So they have flexibility, but they just got so many guys, and that's the bench, man. And then you have the veterans who are hurt. So it's a weird mix, and it's very frustrating to watch because it's really hard to talk about this team too because you can look at the numbers they're doing, but you have to look at who's out there. And it changes so much because two guys come off the injury report, 2 guys go right back on it. It's like, what's going on? It's a joke what's happening this year in Charlotte. And hopefully all this weirdness is limited to this year. But to your point about the question about the boys, I like Jalen McDaniels. I think he's a real NBA player. I think PJ Washington is a real NBA player. These guys who have been with the team for 4 years, I would like to have the latitude with those other guys, but I don't see it. Like, at least with PJ and Jalen, you saw flashes. I don't see, I don't have confidence in Bouknight in developing into a quality rotation guy by the time his 4th year comes along. Kai Jones maybe, but it may take him way longer. It may be for 3 other teams by now, but by the time he figures it out. So I instead of waiting on that, I'd rather move those guys, create more playing time for the guys you currently have, gain more assets, maybe gain some expiring contracts to free up the cap. Just doing nothing is the worst thing possible. That's my main thing. You got a month to figure it out. Just get Oubre off this team. He doesn't need to be here. He could play in the playoffs. He needs to be on a playoff team.
Yep,
Mason Plumlee should be in the playoffs. He's way too good for this team. Terry, get him on the Suns or the Cavs. He doesn't need to be on this Hornets team. He's wasting his prime years in Charlotte. Yep. So they gotta figure that out. And then hopefully when you send those guys out, you can play the boys and figure out what you got. That's what I would do if I'm Mitch Kupchak at this point. Agree. It would just free up the PT for the kids and just figure out what you got.
Rap got unloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, this is horrifying. Like I said, Sam, I was holding out faith, until I say midway of last week. I threw in the towel. So now I've firmly come to grips that the season is a wash. I'm looking ahead to Wembanyama. Like I said, I tried to have some hope, but it's unfortunate that we've come to this situation. What's your faith level? When did you lose it? Are you still holding on to a thread? Where are you at right now? Because I just came to grips last week. When did you come to grips? Are you still holding on to hope?
Oh, so this is because the beauty of being a sports
fan. Keep it 100.
No, I'm gonna take you through the journey here. So that what game was it? The fourth game of the year. That Orlando blowout, where they went into Orlando and got just embarrassed, just absolutely embarrassed in Orlando. And then the next night back in Charlotte, they beat Golden State. I was like, what's going on? Now we know what's going on with Golden State. That win doesn't seem as impactful because the Warriors lost to the Pistons the next night. But really, last night, Ja Morant leaving the ball on the floor for 30 seconds and not a single Hornets player gave a shit and challenged that. That was outrageous. Salute for Terry. Say again?
The coaches went nuts on the sideline, get there. What you guys doing?
It was low key. The ref was hilarious. He's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, he's not breaking any rules. But that was that. I talked to Raymond Felton about that this morning when we had a new episode come up, and we're talking about that play specifically. I think I put it on my Twitter as well. But he's like, Ja Morant did that because he did not respect the Charlotte Hornets, and the fact that it took 30 seconds for a Hornets player to come get that ball shows he was right. And Terry, thank God for Terry, because I don't have the full view of the court. Just from what we could see on TV, it didn't seem like everyone gave a shit that Ja Morant was doing that. And that for me, just it looked like they quit. It was the third quarter, man. What are we doing? You're professionals or not?
Yeah. You gotta play with pride, regardless of the score. You gotta play with pride.
Right. Yeah, LaMelo hits a three. Cool. Ja Morant holds the ball on the floor for 30 seconds and no one cares. All right, great, guys. Good work. Hope you're all happy. It's bad. So that is how this season will be forever defined to me. that moment right there. Because it's not a skill issue. It's a hard issue, and this team
it's effort, right?
Not
It's
there.
effort,
It's not there.
Yeah. Now, I want to also ask you about the elephant in the room. We already know LaMelo got the GO, which is go do what it do and make something happen. Do you think that's premature to give LaMelo the green light like that? Do you think his shot selections are up to par, or do you think that he's still a work in progress?
Oh, he's a big time work in progress. Like 11 threes attempts per game and like 36%. That's really good. Like that's good. But 3 free throws attempts per game is not good.
Especially for his height, right?
Exactly. And compare him to the other guards in the league. Like he doesn't have to be Luka. Like Luka gets like goes to the line at like 11 attempts. He doesn't have to be that level. Get it to like 5 or 6 because that just it tells me he's in control. He'll control the pace of the game that way. Like he can play fast and slow, which you need because like you can't play the same way against everybody. And the way LaMelo takes over is by shooting threes. And He needs another speed. He needs another gear. And he needs to be able to slow it down and get to the line and control things. And he also needs to stop fouling so much, man. He's leading the league in fouls for guards per game. Wow. That's outrageous. That's so bad. It was an issue last year, too. He was top 8 in the league across all positions.
But do you think that's the results of him trying to overexert himself or overimpose himself on the defensive side?
Listen, it's a product. Thankfully, it's a product of effort, right? Like if he's active, he gets involved, he gets steals, he gets tips, he disrupts, but he also picks up stupid fouls, and that'll fix over time. And that was another thing. So, you mentioned the Bouknight and Clifford sound bites, those anecdotes. Great. We saw how that played out. We also heard Clifford talk about how LaMelo was working with a retired referee about getting to the line more and being smarter about committing fouls. What happened? Where's that? It's 14 games, not killing LaMelo. Like he's only played 14 games. He has plenty of room to figure it out, right? And the team's bad, so the whole structure is a mess. But where is it? Where's the change? He's on the same kind of trajectory he was last year as far as free throw attempts. Like there's no changes there. What's going on? He's still fouling a bunch.
I like that you said that, Sam. Go ahead.
No,
I like this discussion. Go ahead, Dax.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that it's a bit of him not wanting to engage in physicality and, going to that unrestricted area or restricted area, depending on how you look at the flip of the coin, that he's avoiding that intentionally, that he feels that his game is superior enough to affect the outcome of any given game night in and night out from the way that he's already have demoed with his skill set. And that's preventing him from really going to the line, or the referees are just not giving him his due calls.
I mean, refs are always going to have, bad games or whatever. Like he needs to do it. I know he says he's like, you got the 101 thing is legit. He's a unique player. We haven't seen many people like him play in the NBA. Probably won't really see a lot of guys like him since. Like he's legit unique like that. But he has to conform to how.
Next one, Dex. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So he has to conform to how guards are meant to play in the NBA, like how winning basketball is. And he doesn't have to change much. Take 2 fewer threes and drive twice more. Like just switch it up a little bit. Now's the time to do it. Because you're not now's the time to work on stuff.
Right? Now's the time to work on that. Right.
Break out the toolbox. Try some new tricks out. We saw him drive a little bit more the other night. That was good to see.
Expand your repertoire. Yeah.
Yeah, work on some stuff for next year. But we're by the time year 4, year 5 comes around for LaMelo, I want to look at year 5 LaMelo and be like, okay, he's added this and this to his game compared to his rookie year. Right now, it looks like the same dude from year 1.
Well, I kind of disagree with that. But another thing, but I understand where you may come, because I've heard other people say that about LaMelo Ball. We got to understand something. He was brought into a reckless situation. I mean, look, like I said, we were looking upstairs. this probably the worst front office in basketball. So and then LaMelo was getting viciously attacked on the floor. I don't believe he's getting superstar calls, and like I said, I'm not making excuses for him. I've heard many people, not only yourself, a lot of people are saying that LaMelo was jacking up shots. He's jacking up I'm hearing this from multiple people, not just one or two. So I'm starting to feel like, okay, do I need to keep a little close attention to this? LaMelo Ball is in his third season. Is he a ready-made player? Absolutely not. Can he improve his game? Absolutely. We definitely got to have some healthy discussions, but we got to understand that, I say if you improve this roster, some of these issues that you're discussing, we're not gonna have them no more. You look at all of the players, and the superstar players who had not the best teammates at the time, and then they didn't play too well. They put a team around them. Look what happened. Look what's going on with De'Aaron Fox. I'm not two totally different players. They finally move out a guy, bring in an all-star. Look what happens. Could you imagine if he was playing with a 20 and 10 guy solid? I think some of these issues you will see more attack in the basket. I think you're going to see a lot more efficiency, from LaMelo Ball. But I think until we fully get, a better roster, at least competent, I think we could erase some of that. But LaMelo Ball can, and he is responsible for some of the things that you are saying, to a certain degree. He's not perfect, but we have to hold everybody in account, for this, in my humble opinion. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, he is absolutely chucking up shots, but it's not a bad thing. He's making them at a good rate. Like 11 attempts per game is second in the league, only behind Steph. That's from three. Like those are a lot of shots, but he's making a above average amount of them. So that's not an issue. But like so last year he was 3.2 attempts, free throw attempts per game. Last year's team was way better than this one, and he's doing the exact same thing from the free throw line. Now, 14 games into the season, we'll see what happens by the time spring comes. Could be a completely different situation altogether. But I'm not seeing any growth from him getting to the line, where he's a very good free throw shooter too. Like he's missing opportunities that really easy points. So that's just like when you look at his size and skill and you kind of project LaMelo out, what the finished version of LaMelo Ball looks like. I think he's a guy that needs to get to the line 6-7+ times per game, like the top tier guys do. Like your Hardens, your Bookers, your Tatums, like guys who handle the ball, your Lucas, the guys that handle the ball a lot, they get to the line a lot, right? And that's just how the game is. You need to be able to have that into your game. Not having it in year 3 is fine, but you got to get it at some point.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, my fault. Yeah, LaMelo, like I said, LaMelo, you brought up a point that you think that LaMelo, you don't see much improvement. I definitely want to highlight that LaMelo Ball, he has improved just about, every season, from scoring. But I understand where you're coming from with his ability to get to the line. That obviously that could be something that he could work on, But I do want to highlight LaMelo Ball. He as a rookie, the man came off the bench. He averaged 15 points. Second season, he had a 5-point increase. You understand? Also, he shot 35% as a rookie. He jumped it to 38% in his second season. In this year alone, in this handful of games, he's improving at 23 points per game. And like I said, the assist game is definitely going up, especially with minimal teammates. This man is averaging 8 assists with Dennis Smith Jr. and the crew. Could you imagine if he had some of these other pieces that you saying, like
shooter?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. These assists could go to 15. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. I mean, seriously. So I think we got. There's some things that Melo Ball has to prove on, but just like I feel like the Charlotte Hornets has not improved as an organization as well. Throughout the tenure that LaMelo Ball, I'm seeing the same exact organization as I'm seeing from his rookie year to right now, and I don't even they don't even look like a team that's in attack mode to try to change their fortunes. I'm a New York Knicks fan, and we could crucify the Knicks. Listen, you could crucify the Knicks all you want. The Knicks go out there and they do something. When Charlotte gonna do something?
You know what the Knicks did that every franchise, including the Minnesota Timberwolves, need to take note of, is they're like, we're making a plan and we're sticking to it. Like they made like a 5-year plan where they like kept their picks, they added picks, they didn't go nuts. when they found a guy that they really targeted and liked, Jalen Brunson, went and got him without doing a proper sign-in trade, even though they got tapped the second rounder for tampering, whatever. Like, they went on and got him without giving up anything. Like, what the Knicks did the last like 4 or 5 years was like methodical, and a lot of franchises couldn't take note of it, Charlotte included.
You're right. I was talking about a lot of teams that have not acquired. We all look at Charlotte like they need help. We looking for the home run. I'm an advocate of saying, yo, listen, look what Dallas did. They got Christian Wood. He's not an all-star. Who the hell is out there that's a fringe all-star, that you could go get? I don't know, but they are in a situation where things could get worse. You got PJ coming up to get paid. Now, do you really think, are we supposed to believe that PJ about to get paid? They about to re-sign him, and I believe he's on the way out the door. Has Charlotte proven they're going to pay somebody?
They paid Gordon Hayward.
They played Gordon. Yeah, they played Gordon.
And they paid Terry. They paid Terry. If they believe in PJ, they'll pay him. But like, I think PJ's getting overpaid by somebody, whether it's the Hornets or somebody else. Like, he's going to get overpaid. It's just a matter of who's going to pay him. Like, he's going to make more than he should. But get your money, PJ. I ain't mad at it. Like, PJ, I think what he is, I think he's a little better than Grant Williams. And I think that's where his area is. I think he could play in a playoff series. He'll be like your 5th or 6th option on a playoff series. He may pop off PJ with like 4 or 5 threes. I think PJ's a real NBA player. He's a role player. Like, he's overextended as a starter in Charlotte. Same with Terry. I think Terry's a 6th man ultimately in this league. He's Jordan Clarkson, right? Just a bench scorer, but he's overextended in Charlotte, being leaned upon as a starting shooting guard where he probably shouldn't be. So like, there's a lot of that going on in Charlotte as well, guys, in a level above rotation wise that they shouldn't be. Even Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre was brought in to be the 6th man. He started until he got hurt. He was a starter until the other guys kept back. He got elevated into a different position. Wow. Jalen McDaniel, same thing. Like, all these guys are stepping up, but they're really overextending themselves, which leading to the terrible record the Hornets have currently.
What do you feel about the Charlotte Hornets making a splash in the offseason and getting the surprise acquisition probably in the history of the NBA by signing Theo Maledon?
So I know you're kidding, but he's been good for a two-way guy that was signed after preseason. I have no beef with Theo Maledon. Like, he for a third guard, he's perfectly passable. Same with Dennis Smith Jr. Like, they got him off the scrap heap going after summer league, going into preseason. I mean, he's been fine. He's been fine. He's actually a defensive-minded player. The Hornets need more of those. Those two guys are the only bright spots from the Hornets offseason. And that's it.
Cody Martin is back.
He's back, finally. But
Cody was wilding last night. I mean, we got to keep it 100. He was wilding last night. He thought he was Klay Thompson for a minute.
Yeah, man. Like, that Memphis team, like Dylan Brooks, I was talking to Felton about this today. Like, Dylan Brooks is respectfully a dick, and he got in all these guys' heads. Like, the Hornets had 3 technicals all because of Dylan Brooks. That's outrageous. And then the Morant stuff happened. Like, these guys aren't in it. They're not in it, man. It's frustrating as hell to watch.
Yeah, let's give a few shout-outs. Shout out to Douglas Golden Child. Shout out to Slim Can Hoop. Shout out to Rap God Unloaded. Shout out to Chuck Morris, the mainstay at Flight Sports TV. Shout out to Basil Carpenter. Shout out to Jessica Anderson, First Lady of Flight Sports TV. Shout out to Thunder. And shout out to Reborn Indigo. And also shout out to none other than Malaya.
Yeah, man, it's definitely crazy, what's going on with Charlotte. What do you think? Obviously they came in, to a tough situation when Miles out. What if Melo never suffered, the injuries, in the preseason? He didn't suffer that setback, when he came back and he was able to play all the way through. Would they be at the bottom of the pulpit? Obviously they wouldn't be the upper echelon with the Celtics. Right. what do you think they would be if they didn't if they could have controlled that at least, especially what you see, what he has been doing, and I think now with the way the season is going, I think if they would have all been intact, I think you would have seen the fight was early in that beginning. I don't know if you know, your team Buzz City was fighting like hell in the beginning. They was losing some heartbreakers that to shut you down. You losing by 1 point, 2 points in overtime. I mean, I'd rather lose by 30, than lose like that. Go ahead.
No, there was some legit like good losses where guys were making up for previous mistakes in previous games, and like Oubre, for instance, would be driving more than settling for threes, and like it just changes the whole game and the dynamic of the half court. Like things like that were happening that aren't happening currently. But if LaMelo played every single game, I think this team is outside the top 10. Definitely not at the bottom, right? I think they're probably 11 or 12 right now, in that area with a 10 seed in sight. Just because this team doesn't have enough. Because Hayward missed time. Oubre's out currently. Cody Martin missed all this time. Terry Rozier, Dennis Smith Jr., Mark Williams got hurt in the G League. Like everybody got it. Like everybody got hurt, man. It's just Plumlee and Jalen McDaniels, the only players that haven't been hurt on this team yet. Knock on wood. I'm trying to get them hurt now after saying that out loud. It's tough. And so if Melo's around all year, 11 or 12 right now,
right.
A lot of that has to do with the East. That's when I said that the Hornets were a 10 seed at best. Like when I said that during the preseason, a lot of that was how good the East has become, and so that has to be factored in as well.
I was just going to speak on that. We touch on a lot of that here. We're high on the Eastern Conference. We believe that the Hornets could be caught, in a tough situation because I said this before, but I'll say it to you. Basically, you have the Detroit Pistons. You got Orlando. Yeah, they at the bottom, but they scratching and clawing. They might, the way they moving, because you see the foundation. You even Detroit. Yeah, you see the foundation.
I would switch rosters with Detroit. I'm jealous of Detroit's roster.
You see it though. Go ahead.
I would love Cade, Ivy, Duren, Bay, Stewart. I would love those dudes in Charlotte. I would trade this entire team for that set. But
right. Sky says bottom 5 at best, and that's with a healthy Melo. Sky, I'm just talking to somebody in the chat, but yeah, that's a crazy situation. I'm looking at these teams and I see the foundation, and and they talking about moving him probably for maybe a first rounder or who knows what, So you see the flexibility. The Charlotte don't even have that flexibility. That's they literally need the number 1 pick more than any team in the NBA, and I hope the NBA understands that and they grant this man, grant the Hornets something, because it'll be another heartbreaker. They mess around and get the 7th pick in the draft. That'd be like wow. They've been, and that could happen.
Yeah, it's possible. It's definitely possible. No, to your point, I like Orlando. I like Orlando's roster a lot. You can see it. You can see what they're doing. You can see their plan. You can see it. You don't see that in Charlotte. You can rattle off. Like I just rattle off Cade, Ivy, Duren, Stewart, Bay, and then got a vet in Bogdanovich, right? Magic with Franz Wagner, Paolo. Like those two alone, you could build any franchise around those two guys alone. Hornets don't have that. They don't have two guys like that.
They don't got Bobo coming off the bench.
Yeah,
out of nowhere. Markelle Fultz coming back from injury. You see the talent out there. Suggs and all. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, they got them. And I think they're going to have the most cap space in the league next summer. So they have a plan. What's the Hornets' plan? 1 more year, Gordon Hayward. This is the last year they're paying Batum, by the way. Batum's been on the books this whole time. He's off the books finally at the end of this year. Got 3 more years of Terry Rozier, right? Expiring Gordon Hayward. They're probably going to pay PJ, so they'll be locked into that, which we'll see.
They can't afford to lose him either, Sam.
Yeah.
Even though they really can. I ain't gonna say I will live go crazy if he left them, but I really think they need to hold on to the quality pieces that they have already. I think PJ at the very least could come off the bench, or he could, maybe grow into something. But he is a player. He's one of the bright spots. He's not the problem, I would say. He's one of the good things that goes on, one of the better things. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at minimum trade them in a sign and trade, like at minimum, right? Like don't they're not, I don't think
can't walk.
Exactly, like how they let Malik walk. They can't do that. I don't think they will do that with PJ, but I think they'll get something for PJ, either him returning or in a sign and trade. I contend they should trade him and Oubre together for Harrison Barnes and a couple picks and just call it. Just have the Kings make that decision. Kings could use PJ and Oubre. I know he's hurt right now, but he'll be back. Barnes is an expiring contract. They can buy him out. He can go to a contender, and the Hornets get some picks for their efforts. Then you can kind of see the makings of it. Because for me, like the way the Hornets get out of this is if they win the lottery or second. Like Scoot will be fine too, but Wembanyama is the goal, right? So LaMelo, Wembanyama, and then you have all these kids that have hopefully been on showcase this whole season because these guys have no trade value because they're not playing enough.
Scoot Henderson wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I don't mind, like genuinely any of these top. I'll take anyone in the top 5. I'm not picky, but Wembanyama's like, you know what I mean. So you have LaMelo, Wembanyama, and then you have hopefully some picks from trading some of the veterans that's in your like war chest, right? You have some of the young players that have been on showcase, guys that aren't playing. No one's trading for James Bouknight because he's not playing. Like, who's going to trade for him, right? Add some value into these guys, let them play. And then if you win the lottery, you draft Wembanyama, you have LaMelo, and then you use those kids, the picks, any expirings, and you get that third star. Like, go get Anunoby, go get, who knows, like Jaylen Brown, whatever. He's going to be a free agent in 2025, right? Or next summer, not this summer, but next summer. Like, you can do something if you get lucky on draft night, if you showcase the kids, if they're good enough, and to get some first round pick collateral to ship out of town. Like, there's a way out. It's just gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard. You got Hayward's expiring. You can put together, like, you could do something. You can do something. Will they do it? Probably not.
Yeah. On top of that, I mean, that's a lot of forecasting and conjecturing. But one thing we do know for sure that is concrete, real, and evident is that Tyrese Halliburton, one of LaMelo's classmates in the 2020 draft, is having a superb season. When you look at LaMelo and Tyrese, how they was battling the first 2 months of that 2022 season, and now you look at the situation, who you think is in a better situation as far as being closer to a perennial all-star?
Oh, perennial all-star? If that's the criteria, LaMelo, because he has more votes. The first fan voting just came out, and LaMelo's played 14 games. He should not be on that ballot. Like, I'm sorry, but Halliburton has fewer votes than LaMelo Ball right now, which is crazy. I get it. I know like what LaMelo is, but he's played in 14 games. Like, come on. Halliburton's played 37 games. Like, what are we doing here? What's going on? The all-star voting is crazy, but so. If the All-Stars criteria, I could see LaMelo has the edge, but Halliburton's crushing it, and that was a weird, like, rare win-win trade Sacramento and the Pacers pull off. Like, that at the time it was a bit jokes, like, but now it's like looking like, okay, Halliburton's second in the league in assists,
Kings in the playoffs,
48%. Light the beam.
They
man.
both won.
Light the beam in the playoff as well. And Indiana is a higher seed than the Kings.
Both teams won, but the Kings got to pay a dude. It's gonna cost a little penny. So I don't know, you know. But I want to ask you a question because I mean, what are Charlotte Hornets fans like? You're in the city of Charlotte. Not LaMelo Ball Triple B fans. I'm talking about what does Hornets fans truly feel about LaMelo Ball? I need you to be 100% honest on Flight Sports TV.
Hornets fans love him. Everybody loves LaMelo. You know, like I know, like, as far as NBA goes, he's a homegrown star, right? Drafted by the team, plays in Charlotte, everyone loves LaMelo. Like he's by far the biggest star the franchise had since forever. You know, like we've talked about before. There are things he's obviously still can work on. He's not a finished product, but he's very good.
And that's the scary thing.
All-star.
That's the scary thing, that he still has a lot to work on, but his floor is damn near elite status. So you can imagine when he elevate his game and put the whole package together and introduce the whole world to a new improved repertoire that LaMelo will demo out here on this 94 feet parquet floor.
Yeah, like, you know, if for the rest of it, you could pencil him in for the rest of his career at minimum 27-7, like somewhere around that. And like he'll be a Hall of Famer if he keeps that up. You know what I mean? Like he's great. Everyone, like, so, you know, as far as I know, any Hornets fan I've talked to about LaMelo, everyone loves him. You know, whether you've been a Hornets fan, you're a new Hornets fan or old Hornets fan, I'm just, like, people love LaMelo.
That's good, you know, because you never know, you know, the energy. I definitely want to check the temperature out there. You know, how many Hornets games did you go this season? You know, because I know it's been crazy.
Yeah, zero.
Nah.
Not rushing to get to the building this year. I can't lie. I will be. I'll probably
go see LeBron.
You know, if it wasn't, I had family in town during that period.
Oh, okay.
But you know, and I don't want to necessarily subject them to the Hornets. You know what I mean? No. I'm gonna get to a few games this year, probably 3 or 4 by the time the season's up. Typically, I like to wait until the new year comes before I get to the arena, just to get a better like lay of the land, like what's going on with this team, so I know what to expect. Because you know, now you know I know what to expect. Keep the expectations very low so you don't get disappointed, and clear your schedule.
And that's why Mitty's there.
Why? Who's there? Sorry.
Mitch Kupchak.
Oh, Mitch Kupchak. Yeah.
Mitty.
I think he's afraid. I think he should retire, but he sounds like he's afraid to retire because he won't have anything to do.
Yeah, they just extended him. He already had his Hall of Fame career with the Lakers. Like, if like he runs the Hornets for fun.
Like that. See,
he doesn't need this job.
And that's what he's
telling me he pulling the Phil Jackson.
Yeah, pretty much. He's not losing his job. They just extended him. Like, MJ's not firing Mitch Kupchak. There's no way that happens. Right?
Yeah, Mitch Kupchak just have to leave on his own accord.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It is what it is. You were very high on Tyrese Halliburton. You know, it's kind of crazy. You know, I want to pose the question with you. You know, these two players, Tyrese and LaMelo, they were drafted in the same year. You know, how do you see who you got, man? Who you think is a better player? You know, and in terms of like, I think this is gonna be a budding rivalry. I'm not talking about the team individually, because remember that dude got some. Imagine if you was able to kick it out to Buddy Hield in the corner. You know what I mean? You was able to go dump it down, run pick and rolls with Turner, a veteran. You know, I mean, it's different. And they got some other pieces out there. The Benedict. Imagine if your team could draft well. You understand, and you could bring in another co-star, potentially another 20-point game scorer. You know, imagine. So, so before you lay your statement down, I want you to factor all of those sentiments in.
I mean, listen, like, I'm picking LaMelo over Tyrese Halliburton if I'm starting a team, right? But Halliburton is easily having the better year, like by far. So that's probably the only way I can really break it down.
And he's directing a better, more talented team as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Halliburton's killing it. Like with what he's doing individually with a much better squad. Like he's having a better year by every check mark, killing it. He should be an all-star. But if you ask me to choose between the two, I'm taking LaMelo because LaMelo has a much higher upside than Halliburton. I think Halliburton's a fantastic player. I love watching him. I think he's great. But I think Melo has a higher upside, so I would take him over Halliburton.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd take LaMelo as well. So, and the Charlotte Hornets, that's what they did. They took him over Halliburton.
No, I don't think anybody's seen this from Halliburton. Do you even think Sacramento did? Because he definitely did turn it up out there in Indy.
Yeah, no, and he got. I mean, Sacramento's so weird. They had 3 guards. They drafted a guard every year, you know, and this is not a conducive environment for a guard, a young guard trying to get minutes, trying to find a way, having 3 point guards on the team, you know, all first round picks. And so getting in Indiana where he had his own team, basically, like it just makes sense. Give him room to grow, which all these players need. They need like bandwidth to get better, to get experience. And Indiana got pretty much a proven entity. I think a better player at the time, probably still better now than Sabonis, but it's close. Sabonis is good. You know, I like Sabonis. I'd rather have Halliburton, but I like Sabonis, and that fit makes more sense for the Kings. And it's just a super rare win-win trade by both squads.
I could agree with that. Toxic T, what's good? You still there? Let me know if you're there. If you want to ask a question to our guest, we got Sam Dracula in the building, Flight Sports legend, Charlotte Hornets fan to the heart, to the soul. What's good, Toxic T?
What's good? How y'all doing tonight? Can you hear me good? I'm good?
Yes.
You said something very earlier that I just want to have like a question with. You said that you want LaMelo to at most get to the line 6 to 7 times. You did say that, correct?
Yeah, like at least 6.
Okay. So like, and you brought up guys like, for example, you brought up guys like Tatum, and you brought up guys like, you know, just the bigger guards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's also
Tatum's
also comes down. Right. It also comes down to, wouldn't you agree that it also comes down to the refs as well? Because we all know in this league that the refs are going to give more calls to the superstars. And it even goes more into seem like, well, LaMelo's a superstar on this team, and why is he not getting certain calls? Wouldn't you agree that the refs would also play into a part why he's not going to the line 6 or 7 times every game?
Oh, listen, yeah, the refs got to call the fouls, right? But there's art to drawing fouls, right? There's skill to it. That's its own thing. You watch Trae Young, like he gets to the line like at will, right? Like that's a skill set that you have to learn as a guard, as a leading ball handler, right?
Yeah,
so it's not a knock. It's just something.
That.
Yeah, it's just something that he needs to improve upon. Because like, all right, Benedict Mathurin gets to the line 6 times a game. You know what I mean? Like LaMelo Ball should be able to, right? With the amount of time he has the ball in his hands, like you would think, right? The list is like Jalen Green goes to line 5.9 attempts per game. LaMelo's a bigger star than Jalen Green. So like he just has to add that to the game. Add that to his game. That's it. There's nothing too, I don't think it's too harsh to say, right?
Right. You're not nitpicking.
No, you're not saying anything. Like I said, you know, a lot of people they love LaMelo, so you know it's not nothing bad. Like I said, you good here. Like I said, you're a Charlotte Hornets fan. We want open dialogue.
Right, it's not right. It's not nitpicking. I was just asking because we
love you here, Sam. You're a legend here in the building. Trust me. We just having, and it's good to have this dialogue because we have to understand, you know, both sides of the spectrum, because we just die-hard Melo fans. You know, I don't believe anybody here is a Hornets fan, you know, really. You know, that's why I bring you on. I didn't bring you on here. I would have just grabbed somebody from the chat, you know, if I wanted to, you know, get a crazy Melo fan in here. You know, I want to talk to a Hornets fan, you know, that so happens to have LaMelo Ball playing on his team. You know, so it's crazy. I think LaMelo Ball definitely could add that to his game. I don't think it's something that he don't have the ability to do. You know, I don't think that's the issue. You know, I just think it's just something that he needs to emphasize on. You know, Clifford got crazy. He was wilding out over a game and he went crazy. You see LaMelo Ball turned his game up. You know, but there's only so much you could do. I mean, I understand that he could definitely go there, but I mean, damn, there's so much you got to get rebounds, assists. You know, keep the. I mean, I'm just saying, man, you're right about that though. He definitely got to do that. Could you imagine if he had a decent screen and roll, dude? I mean, we could change that quickly. Let's replace Plumlee for Turner easily. I guarantee you, we flipped the coin. So some of this got to do with talent too, y'all. So that's what I want to point out. Is Melo got something to do with it? That's why I said we got to meet in the middle. Melo has, you know, accountability here, you know, but I'm not going to put this whole season on him, you know, because I mean, it's crazy. But you're right, though. You know, we just got to understand and meet each other in the middle. That's all. You know,
and yeah, anyone blaming the season on LaMelo that's crazy because he's only played 15 games. Like it's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. What's happening on the floor right now?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. The Hornets, man, they're gonna be okay, man. So what's up with Miles Bridges? You know, it was
So, Fly, you giving out tissues? You giving out Kleenex
for what? What happened?
for the crying Hornets fans?
You know what?
You try-
Hornets fans been through it. This is bad, but they've seen worse.
Like,
Hornets
the
fans
Hornets
been through
gonna be
worse.
all right. They're gonna be
Bobcats
okay.
fans been through worse.
Like giving out Kleenex.
Y'all got,
They're not gonna be all right. Nah, they're not gonna be okay.
No, you're right about that. They need to pick.
This organization have shown ineptness for a very long time. LaMelo Ball fell into their laps after Kemba Walker, just like, I'm done, I'm out. You follow what I'm saying? So they had a all-star to build around, and yet they had it for what, 7 years or 8 years, Dracula?
Something like that. I'll have to look it up.
About 7?
Yeah,
well, let's say 7 to 8 years, and nada. You follow what I'm saying? So now you get an elite.
That wasn't all on Kemba either.
No, I'm talking about organization. I'm not even blaming Kemba at all. I'm talking about the organization. You follow what I'm saying? Because Kemba was must-see basketball at one point. I seen him play when he played against the Lakers, and that dude killed Kobe, man. I mean, he killed Kobe, he killed Jeremy Lin, he killed that whole team. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, this little dude, I mean, really? Every time you turn around, Kemba Walker, what's his name? Nicholas Baton or whatever his name was.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back and forth. Like, really? But nevertheless, LaMelo is a bigger star than that. And yet, here we are trying to figure out how he can be more augmented with a better roster. When Mitty is sitting over there in the catbird seat, who have a legacy of winning championships as the GM for the Lakers in front office, and now he can't come over here and do anything. Where's his connections at as a champion GM? And I believe he was an executive of the year at one time.
Yeah, he probably pulled off arguably the greatest fleece in NBA history with the
Paul Gasol. We talked about
trade.
that.
Yeah,
but he had help from Jerry West on that one though.
Yeah, the league. David Stern turned his eye to that one.
Yeah, he turned a blind eye to that
one. Yeah.
Oh, they tried to get Chris. They tried to get Chris Paul too.
Yeah, that one he didn't let go through.
Yeah, they didn't turn no blind eye.
Yeah, not for that one. Too many complaining. Too many of the governors complaining.
It sent Lamar Odom into a nice into a tornado. That Mitch Kupchak, that one move. My bad.
They sent to Dallas. But what I'm saying, Sam, is that where is that cachet at? I mean, nobody's working with Mitty? Nobody's working with Mikey? What's going on with the Mitty-Mikey combination?
Like
that
from
North Carolina thing.
Like from a roster improvement point of
view? His organization, period. Because who's working with him as far as improving that roster? Like, you would think you have some connections, right? You can pick up the phone, make some phone calls. They seem like they can't get off their stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? Before the play-in, it looked like they were on a path. Like, genuinely had 10 more wins than the previous season, 3 years in a row. Like, legit incremental growth, which every franchise would love to have, right? Then they hit a point. They hit a point where they plateaued, and like, all right, we need a new coach, and then we're gonna revamp things a little bit, right? Fire Borrego, try to bring in Kenny Atkinson. That falls apart. They run it back with Steve Clifford. Miles Bridges goes off the cliff, right? And then it's just over. It's just done. The whole season's done. You know what I mean?
But Sam, even though Miles Bridges took a nosedive, right, and that was self-inflicted. Nobody pushed him. It was self-inflicted. But you knew after the draft, you would have to make some changes because it was a strong possibility that Miles Bridges wasn't going to come down that corridor and step foot on that parquet floor. You have to have some type of inclination that would be the case, right?
Yeah, I mean,
their off-season acquisition was the biggest ever in history. Teo Maladon.
Well, I think they like rested the other night too. Hilariously, that's how much he's been used. But like, man, even go back to Bridges, they could have SGA. Man, the Hornets drafted SGA and traded him on draft night for Bridges. Think about that. Think about that. How that played out.
They would never have Melo.
But that's a good thing. That means they're not the third pick in the draft. You know what I mean? Like, it means they're a better team.
Maybe he could have went to New York. Maybe he could have went to New York.
Yeah, maybe. But like, think about how those careers changed on one night. That's one for this franchise, for the Hornets. That's a crazy what if. And then and the ripple effect of that, because how that affects the Paul George deal. Does Kawhi Leonard go to the Clippers? Does he go someplace else? You know what I mean? If he doesn't have Paul George with him, like what happens with if SGA is a Charlotte Hornet instead of Miles Bridges? Like you go down a rabbit hole real quick with it.
It used to be a YouTuber who made content like that. I forgot his name. He used to make videos like, what if this happened? If he was drafted, this would have happened, and he would have selected here. He would have been drafted by this team. I used to watch those videos. I need to see if that's still going around. But I mean, you're right. That's a lot of what ifs, you know. But you right. Yeah,
and it looked like a good decision last year. Like I thought Bridges was like SJ got shut down because the Thunder are tanking, right? But Bridges like met him. Like SJ was better than him for the first 3 years of their careers,
right?
And then Bridges met him and might have surpassed him in their fourth year. And then now look what happened. SGA looks like an MVP candidate for that weird Thunder team. And you know.
I want to talk about something about the New York Knicks. Like I said, I hate to bring this up, but I mean it relates to the Charlotte, and it will help out with drafting. The Knicks made a lot of idiotic moves. You know, They did a lot of stuff, you know. They under all these idiots, you know. They end up bringing in Scott Perry. You know, they did not draft. The Knicks drafted horribly. I mean, I forgot who there's so many. I mean, damn, Ntilikina. We had some doozies, y'all. Yeah. This dude, they brought in Steve Mills. First thing he did was drafted Mitchell Robinson. You understand? Got him in the second round. You know, he ended up getting guys like I forgot these people names already, and this my team. But they got obviously he drafted RJ, which was the easy pick. You know, they got these other players that they have, all of the young talent that you see on this roster. You know, Scott Perry had a hand in getting them. You know, so who do they bring in to help out with oversee the drafting process to make sure that the people are doing their due diligence and not just getting the best guy available? You know, like San Antonio, they'll go overseas. They got people all over the place. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like where can they go and get these people that, you know, that are not, like I said, you could get a steal. Like I said, look what they did, like the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson and these guys, Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, you know, Emmanuel Quickly, you know, Miles McBride. I mean, there was somebody in there who drafted Jericho Sims. You know, I mean, you need to get somebody in here who could oversee talent correctly, because I think what's going on in Charlotte is they just getting the consensus next pick that they saying is supposed to go, instead of really looking and saying, wait a minute, I like this guy right here, man. He fits the program. He's everything we need. You know, what's going on with that? Where can they get the starting center in the second round from extensive, you know, scouring? You know, what's your thoughts on that? I know that was a lot.
No, you're good. You're good. So, like, you know, with the Hornets' second round record has been pretty decent. Like, given like the expectations from a second round pick, from Cody Martin and Jalen McDaniels to Nick Richards, like, it's been okay. Bryce McGowan looks like he could be an NBA player. It's a long way to go, right? But the second round drafting has been, like, to Mitch's credit, has been on point, along with the developmental system. No beef there. But the last couple drafts, last draft especially, this is like, Jalen Duren was a Charlotte Hornet. And the best they could come up with was a bunch of second rounders and the Nuggets pick, which is going to be like the 28th pick, like in this upcoming draft. Like stuff like that, where Duren didn't even work out for the Hornets. And he was never coming here. Clearly, I think you said it, Williams was their number one center. Okay, fair. If he's your guy, go get your guy. Not mad at it. But let's see how it plays out, because if Mitch Kupchak's saying Mark Williams is the number one center outside of Chet, right? If you want to call him a center or whatever, but outside of Chet, Mark Williams is the number one dude, and we have Jalen Duren. and we trade him for a Nuggets pick and some other stuff. Let's see how that plays out, because that should cost you your job, but I don't think it will. There's not that culture. I don't see that culture in the Charlotte front office where if you make a wrong decision, you're gonna lose your job over it. I don't see MJ and Kupchak splitting up ever, unless one retires or one sells the team. And like, with Portland, like Portland went out and got Mike Schmitz from ESPN. That dude crushes it. Like his coverage of the draft, sitting down with NBA prospects and like watching tape with them, breaking it down, making them explain like what he did, his approach to the draft was top tier. And Portland just hired him. They're like, yo, leave TV, leave ESPN, come work for us. I would never see that happening in Charlotte. And I hate it, man. I hate that. I hate it, man. But listen, it's MJ.
Yeah,
It's
do you
MJ.
think they're working on a shoestring budget? You think that's what it is? I mean, a makeshift shoestring budget. We know that they're not poor, but they're trying to make it appear that's what it is, so they can get away with all the loot.
I don't know.
You ain't gonna go that far.
I don't know. Because there were stories about one of the reasons Atkinson said no is because the Hornets didn't want to pay for new assistants. I don't like.
Breaking
I don't
news.
know. I don't know. And then that story came out. I forget who reported that. It's a part of me, but and then the idea of hiring Mike D'Antoni came out. Like it was number 2, right? And I'm thinking like, there's no way in hell they're paying Mike D'Antoni. Like he's gonna be so expensive to be the head coach of this team. Because there's still the rumors that Doc was gonna lose his job in Philly, and then maybe D'Antoni goes to Philly. Like there's still a little bit of that, and then they end up with Steve Clifford.
This guy Doc Rivers would have been perfect. I mean, when you're talking about a culture shifting coach, Doc is the guy. In my humble opinion, that's what Charlotte needs. A guy like Doc Rivers. I think he would change it all. Like I said, especially Doc, he need to cool it out for a second. He's been coaching these teams, these fringe championship teams. It's time for Doc to go back to the drawing board. After this team, I would like for him to take a job, like Charlotte, instead of jumping back into a crazy situation where it's championship or bust. Build up a program, and I think Doc could do that. Look what Mike Brown did. I would have never thought in a million years. I thought Mike Brown was a joke.
Yeah, I thought he was toast. I thought he was toast. Yeah, he killed it.
That is crazy. We got to definitely pay homage on that. What's going on with you, Sam? Outside of the Hornets talk, what you got going on? Let the people know everything you got happening with your platform and what's coming up.
Yeah. So, Sam Dracula on YouTube. I make Hornets videos. I do Hornets live streams during games. Unless they're losing by 40 or 30 in the fourth quarter, then I'm not live streaming anymore. But that's fun. If you want to come hang out during that, feel free. I do a podcast with Raymond Felton, 14-year NBA veteran, 5th pick in the draft, national champion with UNC, former Bobcat. That's a weekly podcast. New podcast just came out today. It's called Believe in Hornets. Yeah, man, that's it, man.
Where can I get this podcast?
Everywhere. If you search Believe, BLEAV in Hornets, or go to my Twitter. I just tweeted out a link this morning on a new episode. Because fortunately, so I used to do a podcast with Muggsy Bogues, which was great. Love Muggsy Bogues. He's the coolest dude I've ever met in my life. But he played in a completely different era. Doing the show with Felton, it's really cool because he last played in 2019. And so when I want to talk about Dillon Brooks being an asshole, I'd be like, hey, Raymond, what was it like to play against Dillon Brooks when he was because they crossed over for 2 or 3 years in the league, right? So I can dip into his recent playing experience when it comes to all things Hornets or Hornets opponents, etc. So yeah, go check it out. The new episode just came out today. It was a fun episode. First one of the new year.
And also, getting away from that, also you can follow him, Sam Dracula on Instagram.
Also, all my socials the same. It's basically Sam Drac with X's instead of A's. So SXMDRXC. You can find I have a TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing over there, but I posted a video on that today. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that is SXMDRXE.
How long you? Go ahead. You guys got to ask something.
Yeah, I was
Dad?
going to ask him about Miles Bridges. Do you think it was credulous or incredulous about Charlotte denying having contact with Miles Bridges about his contract extension?
So I have a long-winded answer. So stay with me. It may not be long-winded. It may not be long-winded, but I got to go through it from my point of view.
We appreciate your compendulum.
So and this is a PSA as well. Okay, it's not specific to Bridges, but it applies. Unless it's like a global, like a breaking news story, like a tragic event or something like that happens like in the moment. If a news story comes out on a Friday, it means they're trying to hide something. Like it means we have to say this or we want to say this, but we don't really want people to pay attention to it, right? If a news story comes out on 4:40 on a Friday afternoon on the East Coast, they definitely don't want people. They want to put it out, but they really don't want a lot of attention on it. If they do it at 4:40 in the afternoon on a Friday on Christmas weekend, they really don't want people to pay attention to it. This whole thing, that Woj story, I believe was completely from the Clutch camp. Like Rich Paul, it represents Miles Bridges because that story comes out on the Friday of Christmas, 4:40, the night the Hornets play the Lakers with Miles Bridges sitting courtside right next to Scottie Pippen, right underneath the bucket. It just seemed like a total way of the Clutch folks to just get this news story out there. Woj just dumped it out just to do it, just to keep whatever relationship he wants alive with Clutch. You got to play nice with Clutch, right? And Woj just can't sit on it. So like, let me just put it out on Friday. You know, I don't think Woj had any ill will towards it. I think I'm sure he did his due diligence with it, but I think that story came from the camp and it was like a rollout. Put the story out, Bridges is courtside to watch the Hornets play in Los Angeles. I think that just seems so fishy to me.
And it was engagement because LaMelo and them, we went over, they hugged, they smiled. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was some engagement there, you know.
It looked so worked. It looked so worked to me. Like it didn't seem genuine. Like it seemed like a rollout, like an album rollout to me. Like they put that out. He's at the game. They're dapping him up. Like it seemed too much, and it seemed like it was all all those moves reeked to me that it came from the agency and not the team. Hornets could have.
Miles couldn't sit there unless the team permitted him.
Good. I don't. Is that true? I don't know because like he's not affiliated with the team, right? So I don't know what the rules are.
But was he sitting on the team bench?
No. He was under the basket.
Oh, he was just sitting under the basket. Okay.
Yeah, he had a courtside seat right under the basket.
Okay, gotcha.
For some reason, next to Scottie Pippen. That part is the weirdest part of this whole thing to me. That visual. I've never seen Scottie Pippen and Miles Bridges in the same place at the same time, so I can check that off my bucket list. But yeah, Bridges, that whole thing is just very weird to me. Very weird. And like if the Hornets could sign him at any time, and the story itself was pretty soft. It said they're gaining traction. What does that mean? What does that even mean? So I don't believe it. I don't think he signs until the summer. I think he returns, I think he's in the NBA next year. I have no idea when. That's really my take on Bridges. Because and I'm in no rush to see him play. I don't want to root for that guy again. I don't want him in Charlotte. I don't want him.
And also according to sources within the Hornets organization say that they never rescinded the qualifying offer.
Yeah.
What you know about that?
They shouldn't have. Like it didn't make basketball sense, especially because at that point they missed the deadline because the case was still active. Like he hadn't gone to court yet, so it didn't make sense. Because if they rescind it, he's an unrestricted free agent, and just from a basketball point of view, there's no incentive to do it. Now, having a vacant roster spot this whole time for this guy that may or may not return is weird. That's weird to me, and a bit negligent. When it considering all the injuries the Hornets have had. So I would like a proper explanation on that, why we're in January, almost halfway through the season, and the Hornets have not filled out their roster yet. That's weird.
And
but
also,
that's weird.
And from, did Miles plead innocent, not guilty? no contest? And what was the ramification of or adjudication of his case? What lies for Miles based on his sentence?
So it was no contest. So it's not admission of guilt, right? But it avoids trial, right? So I believe it's a year of like he can't smoke for a year. It's the 3 years probation, maybe like a year of like community service. I'm freestyling here. Okay, we got it. So 52 weeks of domestic counseling, 52 weeks of parenting classes, 100 hours of community service, weekly drug testing, an $800 fine, 500, and of that 800, 500 domestic violence fine, and $300 for restitution. He can't own any weapons, and he must obey a 10-year protective restraining order against the woman. So
that was his wife, correct?
I don't know. Ex-wife. I know his baby, the mother of his kids. I don't know.
Okay, you don't know if it was okay.
But
you brought up that you didn't want to root for him anymore. Is that the overall sentiment around Charlotte and the fan base?
People are definitely conflicted by it. I run polls. I'll run a poll on my live chat. It'll be like 70-30. 30% don't want him back. You know, for me, I don't want to see him play this year. A year off seems about right. I want to hear what he has to say. I want to see if he takes responsibility for what he did and how he let himself down, his family down, and the team down. If he does that, I'm open to it. You know, everyone deserves a second chance. He'll get a second chance. He's 24, 25 years old, right? Like, but it feels gross, man. And I don't want to root for him this year. And realistically, what's he going to do for this team? All he's going to do is just add even more like sourness to what's going on with the Hornets. Like the Hornets franchise will be asking a ton from this fan base to tolerate this team's performance. That's a tall order already. Selling tickets and merchandise to watch that team play right now, that's a lot. And then asking them to root for Miles Bridges on top of it. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. But we'll see, man. Like next year, I'm open to it. I want to hear from him, though. I want to hear what he has to say. I know he's never going to say the particulars of what happened. Say again?
If you think the Charlotte Hornets was winning or in a position to be amongst the playoffs or playing, that the sentiments against Miles Bridges probably would change?
Yeah, probably. I can see that. I can see him expediting things because he's going to serve a suspension at some point whenever he signs, right? And so until he signs, he's not going to get suspended. And so it's just pushing it all out until whenever he can return. So if they sign him tomorrow, he's going to miss 20 games? That's going to take us, into like March? Maybe? You know what I mean? So put him on ice. We'll figure it out next year. If they want to sign and trade him, I'm here for that. Look, like legit, if he has, I don't know the particulars. I read off bullet points. I don't know the nuances of his court case, right? The community service, the counseling. I don't know how that stuff is done. But does he need to stay in Los Angeles? I don't know. Do you work out a sign and trade with the Clippers, the Lakers? I don't know. Like there's things like the logistics thing we don't have visibility into as fans. I don't know how that stuff plays out. But as far as the 22-23 season, I don't want to see Bridges suit up. I don't want to see it. And then when the season's over, I want to hear what he has to say. I'll go from there. But I'm not eager to see him play anytime soon.
Yeah, well, I can't wait till that situation gets rectified because it definitely have to. Before we continue, like I said, I want to get into some content creation questions with you. How long you been on YouTube, Sam?
So the summer of 2019 is when I created my channel in 2016. I was gonna do FIFA. I was gonna upload FIFA videos, and then I made one, and I hated it. I hated everything about it. Hated recording it, hated filming it, hated uploading it, and I deleted it and let my channel sit for 3 years until I created youtube.com/SamDracula. So summer of 2019, basically when Kemba left, as like the marker.
So you like soccer?
Yeah, I love soccer. I watch soccer and I watch basketball. That's it.
Yeah, I see. You're a
pro
big time. Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say you're a big time WWE fan. Pro wrestling. Let me say that because
pro wrestling. Yeah,
I see Yeah, I seen your stories. You've been to SmackDown. I'm not sure if it was Raw. I seen you in attendance in a couple of those buildings. I think I told you that I rock with professional wrestling as well. A lot of people might not know. I got pro wrestling in my blood. I still get goosebumps, chills, and everything when it comes to wrestling. So I definitely share that with you, and I think that's an underprivileged sport. And if you look through this channel, we've definitely highlighted some things. And I think I want to use my platform to highlight professional wrestling, because I think that's another thing that people need to respect, but I got to just try my best. I'm only one person. I can't do 150 things, but I definitely wanted to highlight that. Yeah, that's it's crazy. We joined by my man Fresh Prince of Belize. But another thing I want to say before we continue, how's YouTube been going for you? It's been tough. I mean, like let everybody know the journey, because we got a lot of people that's inspiring to be YouTubers. They need to hear from a guy who got this much in the game, and look what you springboard to.
Yeah, so YouTube is only for fun, and I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. I have a full-time job. I'm fortunate to have a full-time job. Like, I don't need YouTube, and so I do it when I want to do it because I want to do it. Whenever it becomes not fun, I'm not going to do it, and because I feel like that will come off on camera as well. You can tell like this guy's not enjoying what he's doing, right? It's work. I treat it as work, and I like that it is work. It's things I like doing. I used to be a news reporter, so like I like making videos. I was my own photographer, so I go on the field with just me, a camera, and a Toyota Camry, just rolling around Kentucky, North Carolina, Illinois, whatever.
You see, I didn't even know that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's where like the Friday news dump stuff comes from. When we get press releases on a Friday afternoon, it's like, okay, they're trying to bury this. They don't want people to know about this, but they have to publicize it. That's big. I did that for 5 years. That's why I got my degree in journalism. But so like the YouTube stuff, I treat it as work. Like I treat it seriously. It's on my resume. My Sam Jackson stuff is on my resume because I'm extremely proud of it. But I do it because it's fun, right? The money that comes in is great, but it's fun first and foremost. And if it stopped being fun, I wouldn't do it anymore.
Right. I like that you stated that, because I echo those same sentiments. YouTube is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to come on here and have fun. It's not supposed to be some crazy, situation as wild. You're right about that. That's what I echo all your sentiments, Sam. I love to hear your journey, because like I said, we've been rocking with you so long. I definitely want to, it's time to get a little personal, hear your journey, hear your story, and like I said, hopefully people can listen to it and take their bits and pieces and apply it to their journeys. If you could speak to a person starting a YouTube channel today, what would be your advice?
Ooh, perfect. Okay. Set a schedule. Well, let me back up. Only do stuff you care about. All right. Cause you're marrying yourself to a topic. You got to be specific. That's why I didn't make an NBA channel. I made a Charlotte Hornets channel because I need to be specific. There's a lot of shit on the internet. You got to be specific. That's number one. And make sure that specific thing is something you care about, that you're willing to spend hours doing of your free time. So that's number one. When it comes to like equipment and stuff, don't worry about getting an expensive camera. Just get a decent microphone and good lighting. That's it. That's all you need to start off with. You can add stuff later on. Like I got a standing desk right now. This is the last thing I'll probably ever buy for my setup. That's because I'd rather stand watching these games, especially how terrible the Hornets are. Like I just want to like move around a little bit when things are going, right? But like, don't let the price tag keep you out from doing stuff, because you don't need to invest a lot of money initially at all. You just get like a decent webcam. Well, a cheap webcam looks better with good lighting, right? So make sure you're not backlit. If you have any lights in front of you, any lights in your place, put them in front of you. Could be a ring light, could be a window, doesn't matter. So make sure, because that'll make your camera look better. And if you're gonna spend money, spend it on a microphone, because it's video, yes, but people need to hear you. If they can't hear you, they're gonna click out. So that's my advice for anyone starting out. And lastly, stop making excuses. If you want to do it, go do it. Nothing's stopping you but you. Like I created my channel in 2016, didn't upload like seriously till 2019. I wish I did it back then, but you can't go back in time. So just do it. There's not, no reason not to start.
Great advice, bro. Great advice.
And honestly, DM me. My DMs are open. My email, samdraculabiz, B-I-Z @gmail.com. Hit me up if you have any questions. I get DMs about people asking about equipment and software and stuff like all the time. Happy to help. I'll jump on a Discord call with you, Zoom call with you, whatever. Just like, I got you. Like,
That's what's up.
it's like it's not hard. I promise. If I could do it, genuinely, you can do it. It's not difficult. I promise.
That's what's up. I mean, I think Flight was trying to throw those questions to me to let me wake up to realize, man, I got to get active. But yeah, part of my tardiness too, man. I've been meant to link up with you and all that. So I do want to start off by saying Happy New Year, Drac. Like, you know, hope everything is
Yes, sir.
well.
Happy New Year.
I know our Hornets is looking kind of tough, but you know, I don't know if they touched on this topic, but I want to go straight to the guzzler with this question because I want to know your opinion on it. All right. And again, I apologize if they already asked about it, but I'm gonna ask you personal, right? Since I'm here. So I want to know, do you think with LaMelo, the way how he's playing right now, do you think it's like maybe an all-star ascendant for him, or is like no way, like for a point guard slot is no way?
No, I think he missed too much time. Like it's nothing to do with his play style. I think he just didn't play enough games.
Okay.
So yeah, statistically he's having a good year, but just 14, 15 games. That's just not. That's just. It doesn't seem right, to be an all-star.
But out of those, he got like 10 double-doubles though. Just
he's having a good year, but just like he hasn't played. I don't think he's played enough to be an all-star, unfortunately.
So the whole January is nothing he could do this whole month to like send him to that weekend in February. Nothing.
Unless the fans go crazy for him, right? Fans have 50%,
I think last year was a campaign. I believe that some votes was not getting tallied correctly. I think it was a serious campaign. No, I don't think it was last season, and it was surprising. You start to look at all of these followers. I mean, this dude LaMelo probably got more followers than damn near a whole team. I mean, seriously, when you start to think about that, we got to think of God.
In the early returns, he has more votes than Halliburton. That's insane. Like he shouldn't.
You mean right now, right?
Yeah. In the first, like Halliburton's right behind LaMelo, and that's crazy. Like, come on, guys.
Well, it's fan base. I mean, I know. That's what's not happening.
Game's the game, but like it's
you're right. Fan vote. You're right about that though. I mean, Halliburton has been there. This should be a year. Melo did go last year. Halliburton is doing his thing this year, and he was healthy. If that's what you want to give it to him for, I understand what people are going to say. Oh man, Kyrie. I mean, pardon me. I'm about to get to Kyrie in a second, but LaMelo Ball. It's tough, and his team is not doing him no justice.
Exactly. That's another issue too.
That's going to be an easy scratch for them to say no. If you're gonna bring somebody from behind, it's gonna be Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving is gonna be downright scandalous. They try to sit him home for All-Star weekend.
Okay, who the guards then? Who the guards?
Right.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have me going up. You're gonna have me freestyle right now. That's a tough call.
Who the guard? Jaylen Brown, right?
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, yeah.
Kyrie Irving, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton. Right. What about Harden? Is Harden's up? Is he?
Harden gotta be there. Harden going.
So here's the list right now for the guards. The East guards: Kyrie, Mitchell, Harden, Brown. Jaylen Brown's a guard apparently. Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, LaMelo, Halliburton.
Wait a minute. They put DeMar DeRozan again for a guard?
Yeah, and then Derrick Rose, Darius Garland.
He not going. DeRozan's staying in Chicago. Or he want to be on vacation.
You said wait.
Who's not going? Trae Young been hurt though.
So the last two after Halliburton are Derrick Rose and Darius Garland.
Derrick Rose?
Yeah.
They just put him on the voting.
Yeah. Rose has 220,000 votes.
Man, Rose got a fan base.
Bro, Austin Reeves has 144,000 votes over there.
Yeah, you remember that? You remember what they did with Zaza? You remember what they did with Zaza Pachulia back in the days? I wasn't even on YouTube at this time. Zaza Pachulia had damn near more votes than everybody, and the NBA just made sure he didn't make the All-Star team. That was crazy. I think the whole Golden, he was playing for the Warriors, and the whole Oakland just ran a campaign. So I let you know the fan vote.
How did Derrick Rose get up there? Where's RJ Barrett?
You're right. They probably got Rose in there or the fan vote. Rose got a fan base. That's D Rose. He got a signature sneaker. They'll come out every year. Go ahead.
No, yeah, 50%. The vote, fan votes 50%. Like media and coach, and what's the other one? What's the other 25%? Yeah, media,
coach,
and NBA players.
Yeah,
the players. So it'll even out. This is just the first, first returns. But this Austin Reeves being on the guard list is crazy. He's 9th in the West.
Yeah, he's starting to get a fan base out there in LA. That's what I'm saying. They're running campaign.
Listen, let me tell you something about these Lakers, man. These Lakers always want their token white boy. They gotta have it. Okay, Alex Caruso, right? Mitch Kupchak, Kurt Rambis, Mark Madsen, Luke Walton. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, the list goes on. They're going to always have to have that token white boy that's pretty decent, and they're just going to elevate him in LA.
Yeah. So this voting is tough. But yeah, Durant, Giannis leading the charge in the front court. Embiid, Tatum, Butler, Siakam. Like that, the front court looks all right. That looks current and correct. Guards, I don't know about that. What's going on with the guards? But yeah, Kyrie though leading the charge though for the guards. So to your point,
yeah, they're gonna make sure. I'm telling you, I don't know what they're gonna do with Kyrie. He should be starting, correct?
Yeah. At this point, he will be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kyrie done stole the show.
And with the way the Nets are playing, man, like
he deserves it.
Yeah,
they cannot have him sitting out there in Utah. Like, even though he went, that's crazy. Let you know how good these dudes are. That they just come back like this and just light it up. Mm-hmm. You know, that's crazy. I really got a lot of respect for him. Sam, I mean, you've been rocking with us for a while now. I know you got some things to do. You know,
it's getting late, bro. Some of my bedtime, man.
Man, I already know, man. Listen, Sam, I want to thank you for joining us, man. Like I said, it's an honor to have you. You know,
my pleasure.
We're gonna hook up in the future, and like I said, touch on Buzz City basketball. You know, and like I said, everybody go subscribe to Sam Dracula and his platform, man. He got things rocking. He got an episode right now on Believe in Hornets. Make sure y'all tune in. When you gonna be live again or doing anything on your show, on your channel? When can people expect an update?
Tomorrow, Bucks, Hornets.
Oh
man, I'm worried already, man.
That's a massacre.
Make sure y'all go check
You're going to have Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger.
So don't buy nothing. Find something to eat in the house.
Brook Lopez.
Jason.
I would say.
Don't get nothing.
Hornets
don't buy nothing to eat, Sam.
Hornets played good against the Bucks. Well, last season they did. The last two seasons they played good against the Bucks.
Yeah, last season they did. But the Bucks had no Giannis, no Middleton, no Drew. It was just like Bobby Portis and Lopez. They cooked the Hornets, man. Assuming Giannis plays,
he said Hornets already lost.
It's tough, bro. It's on the road. It's in Milwaukee.
So throw something in the microwave because for the game, Sam, I like to eat large in the game. So don't order nothing. I should just find something to throw in the microwave. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Yeah. Get something that heats up quickly because the game will be over fast. You know,
damn.
I would say that the highlight game tomorrow, in my opinion, no disrespect, is going to be. I think the Pelicans going to get the good game.
I think they have a better showing. The Hornets have a better showing against the Bucks than they did against Memphis.
But Sam, we're gonna get you out of here. Thank you for having.
Appreciate you, Sam.
With us, Sam.
For sure. Anytime. Appreciate y'all.
God bless.
Yep.
Man, we was joined by man Sam Dracula, man. You see what's going on out here, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of things going on. Rocking with the Hornets, man. You got to respect his takes because he's not here to. I actually like what he did. It took a lot of courage to come up on a big baller brand platform. You understand, and say some of the things he said, and really stand on it. He didn't come here and say, man, Melo is best thing since sliced turkey. He came here with some sentiments and some critiques, and that we got to respect and we got to go. We came back at him. And like I said, now it's time to go to the drawing board and analyze this. It's crazy. I mean, how did y'all? How'd you like the visit, Dex? Talk to me. Of
course, Sam's our people. He's our friend. He's family. He's our comrade. He's part of our community, and he gives us extensive information. Sometimes he breaks our platform before he breaks it on his, based on the nature of the question that we ask, and we are able to extrapolate it out of him, or extricate it out of him, and he gets shocked sometimes because I can see when he speaks on the question at hand, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I should bring that back, but I can't. It's already out there."
Right. Yeah.
So can I
So
can I
yeah,
can I get
he
it? Can
breaks
I
some
get
good
my
news.
four decks? My four decks. I would just
Yeah,
want to say,
no,
can
go
I
ahead.
get a maybe like a take that he gave that I probably missed on that we could probably elaborate on now?
Go ahead. What you heard? It? You was listening?
Nah, I was running
Oh no,
around, bro.
no, you
My
good.
bad,
Go ahead.
man.
Go ahead. What did
So
you
I was
say?
one like maybe I was asking like give me a take that he gave y'all that stood out that that we could elaborate on for
I mean,
anybody we
he
did miss.
he said that LaMelo Ball needs to attack the basket more. I think that was one of the things that like constructive criticism. Like I said, it wasn't no attack. He
Okay.
said that, and then we all agreed that it's not that he don't have the ability to do this. It's just things that he need to emphasize a little bit more in his game, added to his offensive package. So I guess we all we agree with that, and that we also came to him and said hey, if we improve this roster, we looking upstairs, at your front office. I think if we improve the roster, I think we improve shot selection, we improve all of these things and areas that people are critical of, so I mean, we just met in the middle. We heard both pieces.
Right.
That was one thing. What do you think about that? Because that, like
I
that's
want to
one
yeah.
critic. That's a criticism
Yeah.
of people are using on Melo. Also, shot jacking. He did say that Melo is jacking up shots, but he did say this is the year to do it. And he said that
Right.
Melo looked. He did say that Melo looked, similar. Not much improvement from his rookie year. That's what he said. Which I kind of had to bring some
Yeah.
numbers to him. Like I said, it was a hell of an episode, man, with him, man.
Nah,
What do
yeah,
you
I'm
think
definitely
about
going
with
to
that?
chime in. I'm definitely going to chime in and get the takes on here. I always do the rewind. But from what you take right there, I mean, it's some valid points, and I already could see that I would have loved to really going back with some of those topics, especially with the one where it's driving to the basket, because
Yes, that's was
I
his
do
main
agree with
criticism.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of do agree with that too, and with a lot of different for a lot of different reasons. Because I agree, like if because LaMelo could get to the basket so easily that he takes it for granted, in my opinion. And I just feel like he also don't do it as much because he don't get the contact fouls. So it's like I'm risking my body and I'm not going to get fouled. Like the referees are not on my side. Like they're just not, they're not calling it. And those probably the reasons why he's shy from it, from outside looking in, of course. But I do think if he was to get like a solid couple layup packages, like solid ones that he could just get go tos, like you know what I mean, and just go to them on a number of occasions, I think like he'll be good. Like so I could agree there on that point. I do think he could take up go to the basket more. Shot jacking, it's tough. It's tough to call because he do come down and just say, "Yo, I'm letting it fly. I'm, get my shot, whatever." But then it goes back to the roster, like, because if he be aggressive when he's taking those shots, then the defense plays on him more. So if they play on him more because they don't want him to shoot the shot, then he actually make lanes for other players. I mean, that's what the game of basketball. So he has to be a bit of aggressive like that. So I guess it comes off shot jacking. But like you said, it is a good time to do it because he has no one else. Their leading scorer was Mal Bridges, and he's not there. So who's going to be the leading scorer now? Like he has to step up and take that role, right? So that's just another take. So I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to hear, and being able to go challenge Dracula on some of those on those takes. But man, it sounds great though. It sounds like we had a great show.
Yeah, it was a good show, and basically, Belize, everything you said was highlighted and agreed upon. So another thing is that he brought up LaMelo Ball been working in the off season with a retired ref to be able to educate him more on how to draw fouls and get those fouls recognized so he can get to the line more often. But yet he's not getting to the line as much as some Hornets fans or insiders expect LaMelo to be at that charity stripe due to his height, his speed, his agility, his his ball handling skills. So that will also cut down on turnovers. It would also give them a time to adjust. without calling timeouts and things of that nature. So that will come. That will come more naturally as he progresses and acclimate himself as the new face of the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I definitely agree there too. I definitely agree with you on that, man. I think LaMelo, like he's and with the referee situation. We at on flight we on Flight Sports we covered that early when Clifford had him on working with the refs early in the season. I remember that. Well on
Oh, your mic, please. I can't hear you.
you hear me now?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, it was I remember we covering that early with on flight where Cliffy had him working with the refs. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Your
see,
mic went out again.
your service.
Oh, it's just service. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
see,
So we definitely enjoyed Sam Jackson, as we say. He comes on from time to time, kind of infrequently, but we like to have him on more because he gives us the juice. He gives us the real stuff. Not too much conjecture or speculation. There's really no confabulation in a lot of things he say. He kind of stays on point. He's very PC in his approach to the Charlotte because he want to protect the brand and he want to protect his fandom as well. So we appreciate that because he has a podcast with a former NBA player that was very reputable, a college champion from North Carolina, Raymond Felton. And Flight, you're familiar with Felton because he
of
played with
course.
the New York Knicks. He had
Yep,
he
for
had
one of the
he has
better
a team.
years. For
Yeah,
one of the,
he had a
yeah, it was one
teammate
of the
with the
better
Knicks.
years for the Knicks. I enjoyed Felton's time as a Knick. He came back on the heels after they lost Jeremy Lin. When they lost Jeremy Lin, that was a hurtful situation initially, until we realized that it was just a flash in the pan, and like I said, Raymond came in and made us completely forget about him. So I do
I
remember
would
that.
say sorry for the panel for that dropout. But yeah, Raymond Felton, we had the double take with him. He first came with Amari Stoudemire, and we appreciated him then as well. But then we wanted Melo, so he had to get packaged in that deal with for Melo, and we had got Melo and Chauncey Billups and all of that good stuff. And yeah, so like Flight said, to get him back after the Jeremy Lin, yeah, that was much needed, and we appreciated Raymond Felton for that.
Yeah, man, Raymond was the truth, man. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Raymond was the
Raymond was
truth. Yeah,
beast,
yeah,
man. I remember. I
yeah, yeah,
remember. I remember before all of that. Raymond was wilding when he had just Stoudemire. It was just him and Stat.
yeah. Yeah, it
When
was
they
him.
ended up
It was
trading him, they traded him for all of. He ended up in the package. They should have kept him.
yeah. It was him, and it was oh, bro. And not to say it like that. I love the Carmelo trade, but it was Felton. It was Mari. They had Wilson Chandler over there. They had Gallinari. Uh, they had a nice little squad, man. They had a nice little squad. They were surrounded with the shooters. They had a nice squad, man. They had a nice squad, and they gave all that up for Melo and Chauncey Billups and whoever else was in that package. And we got eliminated in the first round by the Miami Heat because Amari might end up punching the fire extinguisher.
I
He was
remember
out
that too.
there,
It's
man.
crazy.
It's
You
crazy.
bringing the memories.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. Heartbreaking.
You said he ended up punching the fire extinguisher like a
Yeah,
fool.
and then
Yeah,
after
typical
that,
Knicks.
yeah, and then after that season, that was the lockout season, So then we didn't go back until January, and that's how we got Jeremy Lin. Flight. You know who we was gonna pick up instead of Jeremy Lin, right?
Oh,
Kyle Lowry.
he was.
Yeah, we was gonna get Kyle Lowry. Both of them was actually Kyle Lowry was a free agent, and I believe he went to Toronto that year, coming off the bench. That was his first year, and then we picked up Jeremy Lin. They were both coming from Houston though at that time. Both of them was leaving Houston, and yeah, we picked up Jeremy Lin, and then it was right after the lockout. It was like in December-ish, and then we had got J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith came back after the lockout season from China, and we had drafted Shumpert that year. Yeah, man, we had a nice little run. And Baron Davis was over there on the Knicks too.
Until he told, I remember he dislocated his whole goddamn leg,
Yeah.
for the Knicks. That was crazy.
Yeah,
His whole
that was
leg just
crazy.
popped out of his socket.
It's crazy, bro. Knicks, bro. Yo, I was in the supermarket
He said
earlier.
the Knicks, bro.
Yeah,
Traumatized.
man.
The Knicks
Traumatized,
doing their
bro.
thing.
We're gonna have to,
Traumatized.
we're gonna have
Like
to
I was about to
audit
bring up
Belize.
I was about to bring up a story, right? Like I was in the supermarket just now with my uncle. My uncle had on his Knicks hat, and the dude just gonna come up to him like, "Oh, you Knicks fans, man!" Like, and it's like, "Damn, bro! Like we in New York, bro! Like just you know what I mean? Like, why would you even try to come at us? Just leave us alone, like like damn." It's always hate, bro. No matter where we go.
Life of the Knicks fans.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Can't even wear your hat in New York. They will still make you feel bad. Bad alone, like other states and other teams, you know what I mean? Make you feel bad, but not even welcome in your own home sometimes. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're not welcome in your own home.
You know what I'm
Shout
saying?
out to the Knicks fans around the world, the most critical. He said, forget.
Oh my God, y'all done woke up the boogeyman part 2.
Yeah, bro. But now I hear the Brooklyn winning streak went down to the Bulls. The Bulls was probably sad after that beatdown Donovan gave him, huh?
Yeah.
That's what might happen with Milwaukee when the Hornets face them. Milwaukee might be in for a surprise. It might be a humdinger flight.
I believe so.
That's what I say though, because the last 2 seasons, LaMelo really played good against the Milwaukee Bucks.
You never know. Let's see how the Bucks play the game. You never know. They might come out lackadaisical, and then they fuck around and win.
But a road game will be crazy though, for them to pull that off on the road.
So the Hornets are done, huh?
Yeah, the Hornets is in my opinion, yeah. This probably was best. Toxic coming. Me talking too crazy about his Bucks.
Yeah, they might.
No.
Y'all might witness a humdinger.
Belize, I'm universally humbled. I come and I'm just chilling today.
You don't come in peace.
I come. Dex, stop it! I'm trying to change over a leaf.
How can you come in peace and your name is Toxic? Ain't
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
peaceful about Toxic.
Toxic tapes.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Fine, but Belize, you guys are you're competitive. You're not like the Hornets who have, you're not like the Wizards
They
or the
dialed it
Hornets.
in. The Hornets dialed it in, huh?
We know you got that that secret suitcase right underneath
No.
the bed.
I want you
full
to
of blue and orange.
I'm
Full of blue and
selfish.
orange gear. You just
No,
waiting
I'm just
to
selfish,
pop it out, but you
Belize.
He
just gotta
said
make
can't
sure
trust Toxic T.
gotta make
Hey,
sure we gotta be
Belize.
good. He just
Hey,
gotta make
Belize,
sure
listen.
we make the cut so then he could bring out that suitcase and be like, yeah, I want
Shout out to Zen,
Hey,
the Black Basketball Channel with Zen Master.
Hey, Belize, that's not the issue here, Belize. Just let me compartmentalize your mind in my own toxic way. Just listen to me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to get some toxic ways now. This is tough.
All right,
Going into 2023, I'm gonna be toxic, guys. Thanks to Toxic T.
Hey, don't. Hey,
Let's
again,
hear it.
there's nothing wrong. Belize, I don't want you see. A lot of villains. You see, Belize. A lot of villains want their teams to fail and laugh and stomp and burn on their losing misery. I don't want to do that. I want to beat you while you're on top, while you have confidence, so I can knock and destroy all your pride within you. That makes you a better villain, in my opinion. I'm not saying I don't want you to succeed. I just happen to want you to succeed so it can be an easier playoff run for my team. That's not me being selfish. It's just me being the realist.
So look, on 11/11 right now in New York time, I just want to say this, right? Knicks 6 seed, Milwaukee 3 seed. Let's go at it in the playoffs, man. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see now. Because Toxic said it.
Please.
Toxic, you said
Hey,
it. That's what I want to see.
hey,
That's
and
it. I want to
please.
see how low you really going to be on that day,
Okay.
first round. You the number 3, we the number 6, and we coming for you. That's all I gotta say, Bucks fan.
Hey, please. Hey, please. And you can, I don't care who you can bring. You can bring the short-handed, you can bring Mighty Mouse and the left-handed assassin, and RJ Barrett and
Exactly,
Julius
Chuck.
Randle.
You
And
heard that.
it wouldn't make me no difference. I'm finna caramelize your mind some more. Okay? Your Knicks team is, I hate to say this, your Knicks team are the epitome. You guys are doing good this year, but you were doing good, what, 2 years ago when you were number 4? And what happened to you? You didn't have a point guard and you got mollywopped. As much as we
Listen,
like Brunson, Brunson, he
it's an
hasn't really faced
upgrade.
no, he's an upgrade, but Brunson hasn't faced no really tough competition like that yet. Not
That's
no
what the
tough
playoffs is
point guard
for. That's what the
defense.
playoffs is
I mean,
for.
come on,
That's
man.
what the playoffs is for. We're gonna
Io
get there. We're gonna
DeSumo,
show you.
Io
Listen,
DeSumo, barbecue chicken. Stop it. Just stop. Just stop. Okay, Drew
I'm
Holiday,
telling.
that's gonna be a problem. You gonna have
Look,
to deal with Drew.
hold on. Let's watch this. Watch this. What if the Knicks make a nice trade before that deadline? Ooh. I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying.
What
Ooh.
trade?
I don't
They don't have the
know.
assets. They would have used that
We
assets to
got
get Donovan Mitchell.
we didn't use it to get him, so that means we do have the assets. Remember that.
Yo, what the
We
hell are
got
you
the pick.
talking about, Toxic T? Are you
Right, you
crazy?
see? Yeah, right.
Hey,
What's
hey,
wrong with
hey,
this
hey,
guy?
hey,
Look
hey,
at him. Look
Flight,
at him.
Flight.
Got
Listen,
that,
Flight.
man.
Y'all had all that assets to get Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was a 6'1" guard, just dropped 71
They
last
should
night.
have got
Now
him.
I know. Hey, guess what? Guess what? And I know
It
you
was
Knicks
like
fans
2
are
nights
feeling it.
ago.
That
2 nights
71
ago.
points should have been at home in the Garden, and y'all felt some type of way. Well, guess what? You lowly, sappy,
Could you
trash New
imagine
York Knicks fan.
71 in the garden?
Look. Let me tell you something.
Right?
You might have forgot about. Let me tell you something. My
What, Knicks
boy
fan?
Carmelo Anthony dropped 62 with 7 minutes left on the clock. We could have
Okay,
got it. We could have
but
got
did
it,
you?
but
But did
they
you?
took him out. They took him out. I don't know why. They
Oh,
took him out.
oh,
They took him
oh.
out. But we got 62. And we had got 61 from Kobe. So guess what? We good in the Garden,
Wait,
boys.
hold on.
We
Did you say
good.
61 from Kobe? Are you guys
Yeah.
upping up players dropping
We got
60 on you and your
listen. Hey, it was in the Garden. It was in the Garden. I'm taking all of that. That was from a legend. Okay. We got 55, 56, I think, from Stephen Curry. I take those. We take all of those in the Garden. The
Did you hear
Mecca
this?
of basketball.
You see that Kobe jersey, right?
Yeah.
Come on,
Rest
man.
in peace.
We come on. Like what like
That's
Believe,
that number
believe,
8.
believes.
you know what I'm
Believe.
saying? He dropped 61 in the Garden, baby.
Believes.
Do you know, look. Kobe Bryant, first ever point scored in the NBA was in the Garden, baby. In the Garden, baby. So look, it's all right. We got history there. Donovan Mitchell gave the 71 to the Cavs, something LeBron couldn't do. You take that up with LeBron fans. Don't bring us Knicks into that. That's up with LeBron fans, all right? Take that up with them.
Hey, no, freak that Isaiah Curry, because I am going to open up this wound because they keep pumping out their chest when they do something, and two seasons ago they was pumping out their chest and they lost in the first round. So I'm gonna no. We're gonna keep pushing that energy. Hey, listen, no. They was over there on my case when I lost 40 points, 40 points 2 months ago.
Listen,
Oh, you niggas nothing, man. Oh, you niggas
Shout
nothing.
out to Buzz City.
I hate your guts.
tripping.
Belize, I hate your guts. I hate your
I
team's
know, because
guts.
I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and I will defend them to the honor. And you know it deep down that is in you, and you hate that it's like, I want to be back over there. But you know what?
No, I don't.
This season. I started hot. I started on how much games y'all won straight? Like 8 straight. You was on a panel every day.
No, hey, yo, first
we
of all,
undefeated.
no.
And you know
Sir,
what?
we actually won. Sir, you're wrong. Sir,
Decline,
you're wrong. We actually won 10 in a
Hold
row.
on one
We
second.
won 10 in a row.
We got Buzz City in the house. Buzz City, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, fella?
What's going on down there in Charlotte, man? Is it over for the Hornets, man? Should we wrap it up? Should we
Yeah, it's
talk
over
to
with.
us? Talk to us.
Hold on.
Could the
It's over with, man. Only people they're gonna keep is LaMelo, the new rookie,
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams. For everybody else, them contracts gonna be gone next year. They just
So,
waiting on next year, man. See what we're gonna get from the draft. Hope we get that big tall Wembanyama. And but
everybody's going here.
Terry Gordon, Kelly Oubre is gonna be on the shift side. I think he should stay because he's a key piece to us. But everybody else gonna be gone next year, man.
PJ Washington.
PJ Washington gonna stay too.
Okay.
So no Rozier, right? So they done with Rozier. That's what you're saying. I already know Gordon Hayward is on the outs.
Yeah, we got to get rid of Rozier. Those two contracts is really haunting us, man.
What about Kelly Oubre?
Kelly Oubre, I believe he's going to stay. He's playing for a contract to stay next year.
Oh, okay. Now, did you see Sam Dracula earlier?
Yes, I watched it. I was watching on the television. Yeah,
okay.
I tried to get in, but I didn't have time. But I wish I would have got in because I would have asked him a couple of questions about the Hornets too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty good about knowing what's going on around that organization.
What kind of questions you would have asked him though? I'm just kind of curious. Maybe you know.
Me too.
Pretty much the same thing for us. What do you think about moving forward? Has he heard anything about the contracts? What we're going to get rid of next year and who we're going to keep?
Yeah, he's basically saying the same thing you saying: clean the slate and start with the youth movement. That's what I said.
Right. But the thing is, people don't fail to realize the key to keeping LaMelo is, like I told y'all a long time ago, they're going to clear space. I believe Jello's coming up next year. They're going to have to do that to keep their boy there.
I 100% agree. And you know what else
That's the fact. That's the number one fact.
But look, and this is how I paid attention to how they might do it. Because JT Thor, he did 2 seasons in the G League before he got his NBA contract. So I've been paying attention to that. And now this is Jello's second year in the G League. So maybe that's the pecking order of how they do things over there. And it just so happened that it aligns with his extension. So next season, he will get that extension. And if he signs it, I believe that would probably be in that agreement. And I say that because, you know what I mean? I've seen J.R. Smith negotiate his contract and make sure his brother was on the roster for the Knicks.
Right.
So I believe, you know what I'm saying, that he could pull that off if that's what they're going to negotiate. And I believe if he does not sign the extension, we should be worried. But they would even more put him on the team to give him that so they can make sure, you know, but they will still have his bird rights. But, you know, I agree, though. I think Jello will be on the team next season.
Hey, put your tenfolds out, man. Man, y'all a lot of cats. Y'all got your tinfoil hats on tonight. Y'all, let's be real. They're only if I'm Jello, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm done. I'm an old man. I'm grown. I love LaMelo, but I'm not gonna waste another year of my basketball prime on a team that can't get right. You ever seen the movie Life? I'm not done, Belize. I'm not done, Belize. I'm not done, Belize. Hey, let me cook. Y'all ever seen the movie Life? Y'all ever heard of can't get right? Just the character can't get right, just hoping and praying on a whim that he'll be able to leave prison. That's what the Charlotte Hornets is. It's a prison.
Well,
it's a basketball.
It's a prison for LaMelo.
No. It's a prison for everybody.
They got his bird right. So
no. It's a prison for everybody. It's a prison for Bouknight.
But I would say like some people live good in prison, you know. So LaMelo's living real good in prison. Like it's not a bad thing. And then for LiAngelo, it's not a bad thing neither because okay, maybe he's not getting playing time, but we don't know what's happening in practices and how he's conditioned.
I know.
They probably just don't want to expose all of that because if they expose it too soon, you know what I'm trying to say?
Too much camera's gonna be down there.
Exactly, and it's gonna be too much. Buzz City has all that yet.
Buzz City has a point because we've been really clamoring this for a long time since LiAngelo been a part of the Hornets organization. Even though he's bounced down to Greensboro, we always felt that LiAngelo would be used as a bargaining chip for LaMelo to be a constant in the Charlotte Hornet uniform. And listen,
Correct.
Michael Jordan's a gambler, right? So he's going
That's
to
right.
use every ploy he can imagine to try to get the best or the most favorable outcome towards him and his team. Now, the thing of it is, Rock Nation might be in compliance with this because both of those brothers, LaMelo and LiAngelo, are Rock Nation clients.
Yes, and that's what I'm afraid of. And I heard y'all on the tape the other night that Fox Sports was saying that them boys might end up in New York because of Jay-Z and Rockefeller. Word. That's what I'm afraid of. Because you got to look, man, them boys about money, and New York is the money capital of the NBA, and then them two boys go there, then them Charlotte going to lose all that money, man.
Not only that, Buzz Diddy, if those two boys go over there and win, I love LaMelo. I rather him
Now
be
that would be a doozy. If that happened, that would be a doozy. If they can pry LaMelo from Charlotte, which I doubt, because I just believe that Michael Jordan is going to match whatever. He's just going to let the market play out the value of his rookie, which he's playing a dangerous game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Mike like to be on the edge of cliffs, driving on a motorcycle in a very narrow highway. So he's a thrill seeker like that. But I just think that the Charlotte Hornets will match whatever they give LaMelo. But I don't know if they will initiate the rookie max extension. I think even though LaMelo is qualified for it, if I'm not mistaken.
But I tell you this, man. I got 5 people coming back guaranteed next year. I got the boy from Jamaica that came from
Nick
the G League.
Richards.
Now he's stepping up.
the
Nick Richards
gem in
gonna be
Jamaica.
back. The rookie gonna be back. LaMelo gonna be there. Jello, they're gonna bring Jello up, and they're gonna keep that young boy they got.
Washington.
And PJ Washington, because Bridges is gonna be back next year.
I don't know.
You think so? That's
Yeah, I think so.
You going out on a limb now.
I think he's gonna be back, man.
Okay.
Maybe. I just gotta put out there.
LaMelo want him back. He's coming back. Trust me. Pretty much. The ball in his court.
Buzz City. Philip asks, what happens to Dennis Smith Jr.? What they gonna do with him?
He's gonna sacrificial land for trade bait.
Oh,
because we got that McGowan boy, that young boy we've been playing with that young boy. We just draft McGowan, whoever he is. He a lot of minutes.
That's a good take, and yeah, that's a real good take right there because nobody really explored that there. So good question, Philip, and a better answer from Buzz City.
And Gordon Hayward and Miles Plummer, we're gonna send them fall off.
Trade bait for Dennis Smith Jr. to get
maybe to
for Bryce McGowan.
I know what team
Bryce McGowan on a rookie contract. Now you got to pay Dennis Smith. And the more potential for that young boy.
Wait. Who was the trade for Dennis Smith? I forgot. I missed it. Bring that back. Who you said you wanted to trade for Dennis Smith Jr.?
Drew Holiday.
Well, he didn't mention who they're going to trade for him. He just mentioned that he's going to be used as trade bait based on the nature of the roster construction with Bryce McGowan needing those minutes.
Okay. I got you saying.
So that's a pretty good observable. I'm gonna say that's a pretty good observable there, Buzz City. I never even looked at it like that.
But
I'm saying, so Dennis Smith is playing pretty good to try to get on another team. If we want to move if we try to move younger.
He's auditioning. So what you think about McDaniels, though, Jaden McDaniels?
He got to go. He too soft.
Ooh. I agree.
He's soft. Him and that Kai Jones. Both of them got to go, too. Both of them taking up space. They soft.
Kai Jones is a solid player, but I agree he is kind of soft. But
I don't know about solid, because if he was solid, he'd be getting minutes.
No, I mean, not solid neither. But the thing with Kai Jones, I got this love-hate thing with him. I ain't gonna lie. Like, he just started playing basketball at a younger age, like 4 years ago. You know what I mean? He started playing at 15, 16 years old. And you know, he made like he's only like 18, 19 now, I believe, or 19, 20 maybe. So, you know, it's
All right,
like
look at this. Who you gonna take? You gonna take McDaniels or the Carey? Which one right now? The Nick Richards.
I think if you said Kai Jones or McDaniels,
No, him and Nick Richards. Which one you gonna keep?
oh, I'm keeping Nick Richards.
Okay, then that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
He
yeah.
traded bait too. He traded bait with Dennis Smith.
Oh, yeah, Nick Richards is going to be trade bait too, yeah. Yeah. Because those players could help a playoff push team.
Right. Miles Fleming, I know he be fucking up, but I'll keep his ass because he'll go somewhere and be a key piece to somebody. Make Miles come off the bench and be a vet.
Miles Turner?
Yeah.
Miles Turner? Nah, I don't think they're going to get rid of Miles Turner in Indiana. I think they're going to keep him. Because I think Indiana is trying to make maybe a low-key push themselves. I want to see if Toronto make a move. Toronto's a team that strikes me to make a move. Toronto and like Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even Miami. It'll be interesting to see if they would take Cody Martin over there. Take him to Miami or take him to Orlando or something. Make him get closer to his brother down there in Florida.
They gonna keep Cody Martin because he played defense. Steve Clifford like him. He played defense, so he gonna get a contract. He gonna get a contract reduction for the team.
I don't really like Cody Martin, honestly. He got a right. Him and his brother, they both kind of just there. I don't like them, to be honest. Ever since the way how they came in with them with the ball with LaMelo and Jello in practice when they make it a whole big deal. Like, yeah, I ain't like all that.
I don't like him neither, but he our best defender on the team.
Oh yeah,
that's what Steve Clifford looking for.
Yeah, we need to get another defender. Then we need to go get. At this point, I'll take Jay Crowder for Cody Martin. Give me Jay Crowder over there from Phoenix. You know what I mean? Ain't no real, Caucasian woman like that in New York. I mean, in Charlotte for him to bother. So
Jay Crowder just sitting out there on the limb. What's that status? His status?
Yeah, they just trying to trade him. I don't know, what's the hold up with Phoenix, but I think Phoenix needs to make a move. I'd like to see if they would trade Aiden and Crowder together. That would be a nice package, and they could send that back to Charlotte. I think Charlotte would have loved that.
Testing, no way. They don't want no Duncan Robinson.
I said, what?
No, I'm talking to the chat.
What?
He said Terry Rozier for Duncan Robinson straight up.
Oh no way.
Yeah, I take it because he'll play within the system. He won't shoot me out the game like Terry will. He'll play within the system. Now that's pretty much a come off screen guy. Terry ain't gonna come off the screens like Duncan Robinson and Poole. Terry gonna try to wiggle and go try to compete with LaMelo and take time and minutes and take the damn production from LaMelo. I'll take Duncan Robinson because he can play within the system.
But Duncan Robinson is kind of like fell off a little bit, right?
Probably not.
He don't want to be down there in Miami no more.
The
new scenery could change everything.
I think he damaged goods.
He damaged goods. Ah, man. You don't believe in the shot? That's what matters. The shot. If the shot's still there and he can still knock down the shot, I mean, he makes a great point though. I mean, he would play in the system. He will be a player that's not going to be doing too much that can really help LaMelo to just be LaMelo where he could get his, because those assists that he will send his way will get knocked down. Like again, if he's making shots, right?
But Duncan got to have his head on right. And according to Isaiah Curry 15, Duncan is having surgery. He's going to be out 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so Duncan's contract won't be as high as Terry Rozier's either.
But then, injury. So, we got to wait.
I think his contract is up there. I think Duncan Robinson get $100 million.
What? Damn. Oh, shit.
He said, "All right, oh shit."
That's why they couldn't offload him to nobody. Remember, they wanted to get offload him and let Matt Strauss take over
Yeah,
the
they
Duncan
yep,
Robinson
yep.
role, and they couldn't
Yeah,
they couldn't
did.
dump him.
That's serious stuff.
So yeah, that's an ugly contract to have for somebody
Yeah,
that's not
that's Charlotte's problem, man. We done signed some bad
producing.
contracts to the wrong people, man. Now it's putting the young team in a bind. Now we taking losses and shit. And another
Yeah,
thing, like
y'all.
I say, and some of these teams, like I said a long time ago, they need to help Jordan, man. These teams already, like I said a long time ago, Jordan done whooped half of these owners' asses back in the
Right,
day.
they don't want to help him.
Now,
There you go.
that's right. Man, come on, that's the major problem. You don't want to help that man.
That could be the case too. That could be the case.
That's it. I'm telling you, this is right now. This is the way the owners can get back at Jordan from all them years, from losing championship, beating, and it's more to it than what's going on now, man.
That's an interesting take. I'll take that. But I mean, in a weird way though. I mean, I don't think Jordan has anything that anybody wants besides LaMelo at this point in time.
Right.
So, then there's
Well,
that.
they got some pieces they can leverage off. I think Terry Rozier has solid value. I think
but what team?
Kelly
What team you
Oubre
think
have
is
solid value.
But what team realistically, like you think is like, oh no, I want Terry Rozier on my team. He'll make my team better right now. I need to trade for him.
Well, we probably have to see coming towards All-Star break to see where these teams are slated in their prospective slots. And that's how you can get a better overall gauge of who needs what and when they need it and how bad they need it.
Yeah, that's fair take too as well. But that's what it is. So then by the time then, Hornets is like kind of like out the window. Well, I mean, as of now, we already could see that they really don't really stand a chance much more, right?
I would like to have Mo Bamba on my team right about now.
Yeah, Mo Bamba will be solid.
Yep, he'll be a good fit with LaMelo.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I was saying him and Bobo also.
Then Mo Bamba was cheap too, man. I don't know why Jordan didn't go get him last year. I would have got Mo Bamba last year.
Yeah, we said that. Him, Charlotte needed him. The Bulls needed him, and he wanted to go to Chicago, but the Bulls didn't want to pay that couple of maybe $1 or $2 million extra or something like that. So he went back to.
And I thought he would have been good in Charlotte off the strength that he played with Cliffy. So I was like, maybe Cliffy would kind of know how to use him. You know what I mean? Because maybe he already seen stuff in him, coming in. You know what I mean?
Then he would have been a defensive presence. What he want, rim protection, something that we don't have.
And then with the rookie that they draft, I mean, they could have, and then you still got and not even that, respects to, we call him Bumbly on this channel, right? But respects to him, he does have a style of play to him that he could teach and, put in Mo Bamba that Mo Bamba could utilize and, learn from as well. So I think Mo Bamba would have been a perfect fit. And then he has somewhat of like the fame to keep up with a LaMelo to where like if them two could get it together, and it may sound crazy. It may sound crazy, but you talking Kareem and Magic, like what I mean. Like you could sell it like in those kind of ways, or marketing wise. In my opinion, though, yeah. Because I mean, Mo Bamba, he coming out of Harlem, New York. You know what I mean? Harlem, New York. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he has that. Like and then not to he's African respectfully. In Harlem, New York, 116th was where he's, not to put him out, but that's the block, and that's the African block. Like, like if you're from New York, you know what I mean? It's not, and his brothers is serious too. His little brothers is, they serious too. They 7 feet tall, and you know what I'm trying to say? So, man, it would have been good, because then you would have seen a LaMelo. I think they dropped the ball on that one. Never too late though, right? So who knows?
Nah, never too late, bro.
Cause man, Rozier could go over there right now. They could take Rozier and what's your boy name? Kyle Jones, right? They could take them
Right now.
Right now. Take Gordon Hayward too if you want him.
Yep.
You could just send back Mo Bamba and whoever else you want to send back.
I need some rim protection. I gotta ask a guard.
Yeah.
I need some big man, somebody that's gonna bang down in that hole.
And they or like a solid wing too. A solid wing would be nice. A solid.
I like Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre do play a little bit of defense.
Yeah, but I like Kelly Oubre too. I ain't gonna lie. He's solid, but I still feel like we could do better with. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he's not the starter though. Like he's not the starter.
Nah.
He's not.
He'll be good. Come off the bench, 6, 7 man rotation.
Solid. You know what I mean? But we need a solid starting wing that could help ascend the team. And believe it or not, that was Miles Bridges. I didn't see that going into, you know what I mean, last season. To be all the way honest with you, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see Miles Bridges being a solid wing. But you know, now not seeing it, it's like, damn, Miles would have been. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Miles was a little.
Yeah, LaMelo got hurt and messed that damn chemistry up, man.
Well, yeah, him getting hurt early, you know, messed it up because the season was just starting, so he couldn't mesh with players and get it, you know. And now him coming back, they're already into their own ways. Probably some of them don't care about it as much, no more.
Right. That's why it's time to clean house. It's time to clean house.
Yeah.
Keep the 5 players. Keep these 6 good players that you know is gonna be your future. Everybody else, you start over. Bring Jello up, so LaMelo can stay there and let it roll.
So PJ Washington got to go?
No, we're gonna keep him, but his ass come off the bench though.
What about Bouknight? Bouknight got to go?
No, we gotta put some confidence in him. Put some confidence in him. I'll keep him. I like Bouknight. He's got, you know, somebody got to get in his ear, man. Put a little whisper in his ear. I think he's gonna be good, man.
I feel like you know what it is too. It may sound crazy, but I said this last season. They're not gonna get rid of. I mean, Jello's not gonna be on the team until they get rid of Terry Rozier.
Jello gonna be there next year, man. Cause it's gonna be in that deal with LaMelo if we gonna stay.
Terry Rozier won't be there though, and you know why?
Good.
Because
I'm glad he gone.
Jello need number 3. Jello need number 3 on his jersey. So Terry Rozier got that jersey, so he got to get rid of that jersey for Ball to come there, and they could get that rolling.
When you want to take the picture?
Huh?
Yeah, that would be nice.
You know, you got Jello. Jello. You know, number 3, and it says Ball, and you got right next to him Melo Ball, number 1. Sick. Yep. Sick. And he's gonna wait for that number 2 to come. And Bouknight better change his jersey number from now, because if not, then he gonna have to go too. But when Lonzo comes, because Lonzo gonna give Bulls one. Lonzo gonna give the Bulls one healthy
Why would Lonzo go
season.
to Charlotte? Why would he leave the Bulls and go to Charlotte? Don't you think that's a downgrade?
Because the Bulls about to blow it up.
Nah, we want all 3 of them around the court.
I mean, if they treating LaMelo the way they treating him, you think another Ball brother will make them think different?
Well, if prediction goes into play, like, you know, Jello comes up next season, right? And now they're balling out, and now Zoe is back from his injury. He's balling out on the Bulls, but this is his last contract now. That's his last season up to his contract.
Zoe take a pay cut to come play with his brother.
So I mean,
yeah, that's true. That is true. But I'm just trying to get you guys to open up about it to make it make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying Zoe take a pay cut. Then we're gonna pay Jello by $2 million. You know what I'm saying? Just to have him up there, you know.
It's not even about
the cameras down there, solid. Then you know who's gonna have the money. That's gonna be LaMelo.
Okay, Buzz City, I'm playing devil's advocate. If
Hold on.
Lonzo didn't take a pay cut the first time around, what makes you think he'd take a pay cut this time around?
Because he wants to fulfill his daddy's prophecy. All 3 ball boys in the league to make history. Somebody got to be a sacrifice to do it, to make a stand. And I believe Lonzo always been the sacrificial lamb amongst the three.
I'm not saying that he doesn't want to do that,
right,
but you think he want to do it in Charlotte?
Yes.
It don't matter. He want to make history somewhere. It got to be somewhere.
I feel like he would do it in Charlotte, and the main reason why is because Jordan is going to wake up and see what it is. And
what it is, that's
it's
right.
Jordan's team.
At least and drunk the Kool-Aid.
No, listen.
It's going to be the executive going to go down and tell Jordan.
Hold on,
you know what I'm
saying? Let me get it out, right? Remember.
Okay.
Lonzo right now is teamed up with Jordan's son. So they're already off the court building their own bonds. Right? So now with Zoe coming back next season, let's say he come back next season and he give them a full season on the Bulls. Zoe is back. Whoa. But the Bulls team not looking all the way because for some reason Zach LaVine probably got traded or whatever. He's not getting traded. No, that's not happening. All right, what if DeMar DeRozan leaves?
Well, that's different. It's a possibility that he could leave, but I don't think Zach is going nowhere.
All right. So Zach, because Zach and him was supposed to be the players anyway. So DeRozan leaves because, he pulled the Harden. It's too much going on here. I ain't really come for all of this. I'm just trying to get mine, so he dips. And, it's just dumb now. And they play good, but then he leaves too.
Clippers are down by 41.
Chicago going to push Lonzo out of there and going to keep Zach in the mark.
Well, why would they push Lonzo out when they talking about Lonzo as a straw to stir the drink?
Because he's getting hurt too much.
Lonzo going to go if for sure Jello and Melo is on the Hornets when his contract is up, he's going to the Hornets. That's just what I believe.
Okay. I mean, you guys got the answers. I don't see it in Charlotte, but you never know, right? Where do things happen? Or stranger things happen?
I mean, because I don't see the Bulls. I would love to see it in the Bulls, honestly.
I don't see it at the Bulls. I don't see them in the Bulls. I don't see them in the Bulls.
Okay, the Bulls going to push him out. Let him get hurt one more time next year.
That's interesting.
I tell you now, he get hurt one more time next year. That's going to be it for Lonzo. He ain't going to get no more big contract. So there go your pay cut right there to come to shop and play with your brothers.
But what about Charlotte is not the only team vying for their services?
The problem is because Charlotte has LaMelo's bird rights. So LaMelo can't get out until 6, 7, 8 years.
Well,
no matter how you slice it.
Jordan, if only way LaMelo stay, Jordan have to match a rookie max extension. If he can match that, then
he's gonna match it.
Yeah, because nobody can pay him more than Charlotte. Charlotte can pay him the most.
Exactly. So no matter what it is, he's gonna match it.
Oh, he's gonna break the bank now. He's gonna break Charlotte's bank now. Bank of America gonna open up now when he comes for a contract.
And then when it comes to that, right? He's gonna bring Jello in with him. And
that's right. That's gonna be in the contract.
That's gonna be there. That's gonna be.
Don't be in that contract now. Or I'm leaving.
Be there. It'll make no if J.R. Smith got that's J.R. Smith's name. J.R. Smith's girl name is Earl Smith. If J.R. Smith have his son, his little brother Chris Smith on the team for the New York Knicks after he won 6th Man of the Year, come on. There's no way that LaMelo can't get Jello on the team. I'm just saying. It's just buffoonery. Because Chris Smith was not drafted. He went to Louisville. I don't understand. Make it make sense.
Didn't he win a national championship while he was at Louisville?
He ain't play. What's his stats? Look that up. He ain't play. Chris Smith was trash. Respectfully. He's in New York.
No, he got beat. He ran down to the end of the court and dunked the ball in the playoff. I think he got beat in the Elite Eight.
Oh, in the Elite Eight?
Yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't on that national championship team.
No, because he wasn't even on the team with the Ware.
No, that was Rushmill. That was Rushmill. I'm sorry.
No, but he wasn't on the team because that was the year after Ware. Remember, he hurt his leg in that.
Yeah, he hurt it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He was already off the team then.
Oh, okay.
And they won a championship after that.
Right, and they dedicated that season to Ware.
Yep. I remember that.
Well, all I want to know is if they not bringing Jello up this season.
No,
it's a chance that they probably never bring him up.
No, I feel like it's like you said. I feel like it's a ticket thing. They making money off Jello on the G League regardless, so they good. And they you know what I mean? So they riding this. They milking it. They milking it, everything they could get out of this because they know it's only a matter of time until it's all gone.
But they're not even playing LiAngelo though.
Because they don't have to. They know how great he is.
Yeah, but at least they're not even creating an atmosphere to galvanize fans to want to come out to see LiAngelo. Because word on the streets is he's not getting minutes.
But guess what?
No, he ain't getting no minutes now.
But guess what? They all still come, right? And I'm one of them. You know why? Because we all think maybe it's this one game he'll get the minutes and we'll see it. That's the sick part about it.
Yeah, I think Charlotte and Greensboro is squandering a beautiful opportunity to have something special down there in Greensboro by allowing LiAngelo to play it out. Whether he scores a lot or he doesn't really score a lot, but just have him out there on the floor so people can have something to cheer for. Because when you look at the Greensboro Swarm, who you cheering for, right? Because they so back and forth with it. LiAngelo is one of the mainstays. Jalen Crutcher, of course, too, is one of the mainstays in Greensboro. Everybody else is back and forth. So you can't salute. You really can't get a grip on who you want to cheer for because 1 minute is this face, next minute is that face. But one thing you know, Jello's there.
And then on top of that, like even if we go back to the summer, right? We went to the Drew League. I'm sorry. We seen Jello play like minutes, like long stretch of minutes. You know, we seen him get points. And yes, he played against. Yes, he probably wasn't playing against elite players or whatever you want to call it. But then also on the back end, he didn't have elite players on his team neither. So now we got elite style type players on his team, and they're playing against what? Elite style players, and we just can't see how he do then. Like, to me, that's just crazy. Because it's not like he was in the Drew League, right? Putting up all these crazy numbers like, oh, he's beating on them guys because they whack. Like, nah, he was still losing too. And they were still, you know what I mean? So you know the game of basketball that he can play it. That's, you know what I mean? He can play it. He could keep up. So it's like, we just want to see it. Like, you just want to see it. Like, that's just how I call it. Like, you know what I mean?
It's going to come down between Crutcher and Ball to come up next year.
Well, if it comes down between those two, then you have to look at the position, right? Is
right.
Is Jalen Crutcher position needed, or is LiAngelo Ball position needed? And I would think more so LiAngelo Ball position is needed because he's coming in as a shooter.
And then you know what else too? Jay Crutcher, respectfully, he be rocking those Buzz Cities and those NBO ones. Like, he know what's up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he playing the role too.
He down with the coaching shop.
That ain't gonna help him. Not over LiAngelo.
That's what I'm trying to say though. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, well, you know, you were into the sneakers, so we thought he was cool. Like, you know, yeah, let's put him on, like, instead of the brother. Like, you know, it's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that would help him if it came to them two and LaMelo decide Who you want, right? You want the guy wearing your shoe, or you want your brother?
Damn.
You're like, man, I thought the everyone's gonna save me. Nah, Crutch is a cool dude, bro. He's cool.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything against nobody. We just want to see our
Whoa,
guys. So
whoa, whoa! Hold on,
we're
hold
not
on.
knocking.
That center that was telling me to, shut the f up and all that. Yeah, we got smokes for him. We got a video, me and Hungry Ham. We're gonna talk
Who
about that in full details. But
who sold what?
you missed that one, Dex. When we went
What happened?
to the Jello game.
No, I seen it, but oh yeah, you talking about the guy? Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
got beef with him. Yeah. We ain't rocking with him because all the other guys from the team, they cool. My man's eating Skittles on the bench. My boy Jello yawning like he ready to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you know what I mean. We gonna break it all down. Like
LeVar said, LiAngelo do not know how to sit on the bench because he's been playing, and he's been a starter since he was an infant. And this is a new realm for him. I know he went overseas and he didn't start, but that was a total different matriculation going overseas. But as far as playing ball in the States, he's been starting and he's been starting and playing against some of these guys who are his peers. These guys in the Greensboro Swarm, some of these guys are his peers. He probably played against in high school, or they played, at the same time in high school, whether they played against each other or not. These are his peers.
Yeah.
And he still was the
They
leading
say
scorer.
Mikey Williams signed with Rock Nation. I heard of little Mikey Williams
Yep.
from South Carolina.
Yeah. He signed with Puma too. Mikey Williams. He
just signed Rock Nation.
Oh wow.
Oh, he's from North Carolina?
Yeah, he's from Lake Wilder, South Carolina.
Yeah. He's from South
Oh,
Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Melo, yeah, he with Puma too, so that's interesting to see.
Let me ask you this question: who y'all will pick the better point guard for as the future building the team? Ja Morant or LaMelo Ball?
We always do this conversation, man. Like honestly speaking, but I want to know your take before I answer because I think everybody kind of know where I'm going.
I'm rocking with LaMelo, full fledged.
I'm rocking with LaMelo.
Yeah, me too. And that's not, and that's really what it is. Because when it comes down to point guard to me right now, LaMelo's the best point guard out. But
you have to ask yourself.
Young course.
Honestly, you have to ask yourself, right?
I done seen Ja Morant's game before, man. I done seen his game before. So what Ja Morant's doing, I already done seen.
Yep. And plus, how long can he sustain being that athletic?
Right.
See, LaMelo doesn't use athleticism like that. You follow what I'm saying?
No.
LaMelo used a lot of deception and a lot of misdirection. And this is why it's difficult for referees to really give him those calls because his body goes left, it goes right. He just, he swivels up in traffic. You know what I'm saying? And that sometimes is a gift and a curse when it comes to getting to that charity strike like Sam Drackler was speaking, because LaMelo is too finessed. And sometimes finesse can, work against you.
And then especially when you're coming up after that Harden era that we went through. You know what I mean? Where like now they're like, oh, I don't know if it's finesse or it's really a foul. Like, you know what I mean? So
I kind of like how the league has gotten now for the defense. I kind of like how they, they ain't getting them ticket-tacky fouls like the last 5-6 years, man. James Harden going to the line 50 times a game. You know what I'm saying? They let them boys bang a little bit now.
But the thing is, man, we got to be careful with that because then what if these players start to get hurt?
Be careful what? Say that again, please.
The letting the hard fouls go, letting them bang up a little bit in the paint.
Yeah, making it right now.
Well, that should apply to the big men. It shouldn't apply to guards or small forwards. Power forwards and centers, yeah, you can kind of let them fight through it. But guards and small forwards, I think their fouls need to be recognized.
What it's gonna do? it's gonna make them guards go back down in the paint, learn how to play in the paint like how they did in the 90s. See, a lot of guards don't know how to play in the paint. All they do is stop and pop.
That's fair. That's a good take too. Like, yeah.
Every guard back in the 90s know how to play in their paint. Now you got the good guards can't play in the paint. You can take a 5'7" guy.
They want to run.
Paint, he'll cook a 6'2" guy.
LaMelo do got.
Yeah, I don't think the game will ever get back to that type of physicality. I think it's more so just to give the fans something to cheer for and keep the game moving at a fast pace because they don't want the referees constantly blowing the whistle. So that's why I think the game is wide open right now. So it could be exciting and continuous motion and less stoppage. Unless for a commercial, of course.
Hey, I tell you what, I got one guard people probably don't even remember. I can put him in today's game and he'll cook. They ain't gonna just like anybody. Chris Jackson. You put Chris Jackson in this today's league, man. Chris Jackson will light somebody up.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's fast enough to get the shot off consistently because these youngsters are fast and they tall. They're not slow and sluggish. And out there, like cumbersome, these guys are swift, fast, and agile.
And they're in tune too. Like they're so in tune. Like a lot of stuff is getting taken for granted with these young players. Like the type of detail and malicious, like you know what I mean, like all that stuff, nostalgia, all that stuff that they pay attention to. Like you know what I mean. Now, man, I'm telling you, they beastie. It gets really overlooked. The details of stuff they put into their game, the studying they do, the film work that they do consistently. These young guys, it's very different from back in the days, in my opinion. And that's just because I feel like there's more knowledge given to them. Like they could just they could just find clips and find stuff easy. Back then, it wasn't just as easy for them to find it.
Yeah, the advent of the internet make a lot of things simpler.
Yeah.
Right.
But it also could be a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and flat out lies. So you got to be careful how you disseminate and shift through the information. So you got to show, some kind of discernment.
Well, I was more so just saying on the way how the young guys are training their bodies and just approaching the game more like different than how, in my opinion, some of the younger ones approach their game. And when they
now the people come in the game now, they slim and skinny, 7'5" shooting threes. They ain't got no big wide shoulders like Anthony Mason and the boys.
Right. Linebackers playing basketball.
Yeah.
It's only like the Zions in them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like now they you know what I mean? They don't got them. You see Giannis is like 27 and that's his body, bro. Those is bodies posed for people that was like 22, 23 coming in the league.
Yeah. I remember Orlando Warwick. You remember Big O? Orlando Warwick?
Oh yeah.
How he came in with all those muscles?
Yep.
Xavier McDaniel. Those guys of the world.
Yeah.
X-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Oakley was swole too when he came in the league.
Yeah, Charles Oakley was pretty cool.
Yeah. The boy Sean Kemp. Young boy coming in.
Young Sean Kemp.
Yeah, young Sean Kemp.
Even David Robinson had some cuts though. He was slim, but he was toned.
Coming in.
He was toned up.
Coming in. Hell yeah.
Definitely Karl Malone.
You talk about Alonzo Mourning coming in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And came in young. Of course you could say Shaquille O'Neal, but Shaquille was tough.
Yeah, young Shaq was more agile than that.
Yeah, Shaquille was a freak. He was a freak. He was a freak of his day because he was able to play with some grace, like take the ball full court with speed, and then he was able to break backboards too.
Yeah.
That's that young Shaq.
I knew they had to change the game when it came to him. Yo, but that's bro. I'm about to slide out of here real quick, man. You know, it's midnight on this side of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all love and none like.
Yeah, we can go ahead and end this. We had a wonderful time. Shout out to Buzz City, Belize. Shout out to Sam Dracula for his appearance, and earlier Anthony Peterson, the champ. Shout out to him. Shout out to Right to True, Toxic T, and everybody that came on the panel to share some of their celebrated content. And we appreciate you at your premium peak. So big ups to everybody. And hey, be safe out there, man. We know it's winter time.
Shout out. You ready, man? Happy New Year's again. Let's watch some basketball tomorrow. See them Pelican fans and them Nets. Let's go get at it.
Hey, we'll be here for Uncle Vern tomorrow. Him and Jeff. No, Purple Baby. God bless. Have a good day, man. Good night. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Peace and love to y'all, man. Shout out all y'all. Shout out Basil, all y'all that pulled up the Flight Sports tonight. Peace and love.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.